Hey guys, it's Legend Wings or Mackenzie, back again with my friend Kaylee for the last time, and today we're reading Modelland.
We're almost done, guys. This will be our last recording for it.
And then I've only got 20 episodes still to probably edit. This is awesome. Well, this is episode 21, and I'm editing episode 6 right now. So I've got some time to still invest into this, but at least the initial shock of it all will be over with. Yep. So last time, the Belladonna had a baby.
And it was C-L.
It was C-L, and her dad is Wingtip.
And Creamy got stabbed.
And Creamy was brutally murdered.
Yep.
And wanted Bellissima at her death. So,
yep.
So as far as we know, she's dead, not coming back. I'm okay with that.
Yep.
It was just highly disturbing how it all went down.
Yes.
So
it just kind of blindsided us.
Yep. So, Kaylee, if you want to start us off on chapter 45?
Yep. Chapter 45. La Camera Bruta. Footsteps rang out in the hall. The heavy iron and concrete doors blocking off the flashback room rose. That shouldn't be capitalized, or you should have capitalized room. Whatever. Tuki thought it might be Miracle, but Gennaro Nars rushed in, followed by 6 Bestastero guards.
Oh, jeez.
Cut the primping, Belladonna. Your crowd has been sitting in their seats so long, they're starting to stink like last year's trends. He gestured to the stadium scene projected on the wall. The acrobats had wandered off, and the jungle cats had been stuffed back into their cages because they'd become too restless and too violent to be loose.
Oh, no.
And then he eyed the grisly scene. That can't be capitalized. They capitalized the after the colon.
Wow. What?
See, you're not supposed to do that.
No, you're not. It's not a new sentence. Oh my goodness.
And then he eyed the grisly scene. The dirty, bloodied woman on the floor. The pool of blood around her, getting larger by the second. The bloodied spikes on the Belladonna's gown. How long were these?
I guess they were pretty dang long.
To impale somebody.
Yeah, all the way through.
Good Lord. What in the knockoff handbag hell have you done? Oh, sorry. What in the knockoff handbag hell have you done? He whispered to the Belladonna and pressed his long, slender fingers to his mouth. A muscle twitched in the Belladonna's throat. It was an accident, she croaked helplessly. No, it wasn't, a voice piped up. Everyone looked over. It was Persimmon, her face hard, cold. I saw the whole thing, the mannequin said. It was deliberate. Persimmon! The Belladonna cried, her expression full of horror and betrayal. You know that's not true! Take it back now! Persimmon didn't move. For a moment, her face flickered between pure hatred and undying loyalty. Wait, but it settled on resentment. Wait, isn't her face plastic?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what her face should be doing if it's completely plastic, but whatever.
You deserve it, her expression seemed to say. And then she turned and walked silently out of the room. The Belladonna gazed around frantically, searching for anyone who might back her up. Finally, her gaze landed on Tuki. Tuki, she screeched. You saw everything. You know I didn't mean to hurt your mother. Help me! A pang of guilt shot through Tuki. The Belladonna had chosen Tuki to come to Modelland after all. But Tuki knew it hadn't been for the right reasons. She knew that danger still lurked somewhere. She just wasn't sure where or in what form. And honestly, Tuki couldn't tell if the Belladonna had meant to stab her mother or not. It all happened so fast. Slowly, she shook her head. I'm sorry, Belladonna, but you hurt my mother really badly. I can't help you. I'm sorry.
So she's not dead?
I don't know. I think she's dead. We'll see.
Hurt my mother really badly doesn't say, you killed my mother.
You can't pin-tuck your way out of this one, Gennaro giggled nastily. You can't pin-tuck your way out of this one, Gennaro giggled nastily. And then he dragged the screaming, writhing Belladonna out of the room by her 7-inch stilettos. Wait, okay, so the Belladonna is the most powerful person in Modelland, the head honcho. Persimmon's supposed to be loyal to the Belladonna, and Gennaro didn't even see what happened.
Yeah.
And couldn't the Belladonna just, say, well, we're gonna cover this up?
Yeah, you could.
Not that she should, that's also not
right,
good, but she's the one, she's the head honcho. She should be the one that is calling the shots.
Gennaro drug her out by her stiletto, so he grabbed her feet and drag her. Yep. How did that happen? How did you let that happen?
I don't know.
This makes
no sense.
So bad.
And then we get an end break.
End break.
Finally, 3 hours and 37 minutes and 28 seconds after everyone had gathered in the stadium, Gennaro Nars walked onto the stage, his face drawn and serious. He conferred with the board for a moment. Every board member gasped. The huddle broke and Nars approached the microphone. May I have your attention? His voice boomed. The crowd immediately went silent and still. No one breathed. Nars cleared his throat. While you all have been sitting here in your seats, like unwanted, hemp-sewn eco-fashion on a biodegradable shelf, something tragic has happened here on Modelland grounds. You don't deserve to know the details, but I will share with you one thing. The 7-7 tournament is postponed. The crowd gasped indefinitely. The upper-class fellas all screamed. And there will be no day of discoveries tomorrow either, Nars went on, looking pained. Modelland is shutting down until further notice.
Shutting
Merci
down.
and sayonara. Danke and zaijian. Gracias and arrivederci. Arrivederci.
Yeah.
Arrivederci. Then Emmerich. And we get Tyra's voice.
No!
Oh, this was a heavy day, darling. In the history of Modelland, in the history of the world, I dare say, this was one of the most disastrous, devastating, disheartening days ever. Really? In the entire world. You can't think of anything worse than this. I can think of a lot of days.
Yeah, Tyra. Is this a fantasy world or is this future our world? I feel like it's supposed to be future our world almost because of how many.
I have no clue. But I feel like the narrator in this case is speaking to the audience and our world. So I don't know. Because she mentions like the bubonic plague and stuff before. Yeah. So that implies that it's like our world.
Yeah.
But really the worst day. No.
Tyra. Stop with this voice. It's just no good.
Monsieur Nars' message had reached everyone in the world at exactly the same time. The announcement flowing like lava down the mountain and incinerating everything in its wake. And darling, the immediate effects of such a decree upon the world were, well, tragic. Mm-hmm. Hospitals from Terra Bossa Nova and Tulip were flooded with victims who'd fainted from the hideous blow.
What the hell?
Fashion designers fell into debilitating depressions, shocked that they would be given no new muses for inspiration. Some abandoned their showrooms. Others hurled themselves off their tall buildings in Ladorno, their bodies crashing to the street.
What?
Tourists and children.
Holy crap! People have gone suicidal because an event was canceled.
Yep.
What the hell?
Guys.
I know that this is in their mind, their world, but that's even like completely extreme.
Guys.
This is unhealthily obsessive.
Guys. And also, even if Modelland itself wasn't turning out like New Bellas, you have a ton of other models that are still modeling. It's not like they're forgotten after 1 year. Yeah. And I'm sure that if Modelland itself did shut down, they would find other models. Really, guys? Because this is what happens next. All of Metopia's fashion factories shut down. There was no need to produce new wares after all.
No, yeah, there is!
No hope of new Intoxibellas to display them. Yeah, sure, there were existing Intoxibellas who were more than capable of rocking new wares. But this is fashion, darling. And fashion is obsessed with the nouveau. Again.
Tyra, this is stupid. You know this is false.
Yeah.
You know this is false, Tyra.
There's a bunch of other people. It's not like in modeling you're only like famous for 1 year. People have careers longer than 1 year.
Tyra, stop it.
I get like the idea of like, yes, they always want something new and a new person that's exciting and all, but really...
I just don't get it.
Okay, also this doesn't make sense. Factory workers spilled onto the streets, angry and aimless. Some looted stores, breaking glass and stealing purses, shoes, dresses, suits.
Why?
Why are the factory workers doing this? They're not directly involved unless they're in like a clothing factory and they got laid off or something.
Yeah.
But if it's all, you're not having your factory workers in your like design. I mean, you'd have like workers in like different like designer studios and whatnot, but
it just makes no sense.
That would be factory workers.
This makes no sense.
No sense.
How this would impact each other at all.
But factory dependents reveled in the madness, breaking free of their semi-enslavement and adorning their malnourished bodies with the glamorous goods they were forced to produce. Okay, so they are producing like, I'm assuming like jewelry and stuff, I guess, but not all the factories are gonna be producing like fashion related items.
What did they do before Modelland existed?
Apparently it was chaos.
Apparently it was just mass chaos.
Hoodlums in Nordensui. Yeah.
I'm so glad we listed another place that we've never listed before that we'll never know about.
Hoodlums in Nordensui, Cappuccina, and Oktoberfest face the Intoxibella billboards that rose high above the city streets, covering them with the words liars and betrayers and Intoxihellas. What? They didn't do anything.
It was the Belladonna murdered someone.
Sidewalks that read, where the hell is C.L? We need her. Now bore the answer, who the hell cares?
Me. But also, that doesn't match the mentality of everybody else.
No! Riders rushed the Sapphire Esplanade in Ladorno, grabbing perfume bottles and hurling them at one another like missiles. Vicious fights erupted in the mall corridors. People tore at one another's clothes. Gouged out eyeballs! Oh my god! And found one another in the fountains! What the hell? Guys! No, this this would not cause this mass chaos, guys.
Oh, jeez.
Devastated girls dragged high, medium, and low fashions from the stores to the parking lot and lit them on fire. Another group knocked over a wheeled cart selling Modelland t-shirts, hats, and coffee mugs, throwing everything into the flames. A cinched, glossy photo of C-L slowly disintegrated to ash. A flag depicting the Modelland GoldenEye smize went up in a blue blaze. Guys, they said they're postponing the tournament. Granted, they said indefinitely, but...
But it's gonna happen still. You know it has to.
Yeah, what's probably gonna happen is, let's pick the new one, Belladonna, and then we'll have the tournament. It might be like an extra year or something, but... Yeah. They're not just gonna like cancel the whole thing. Probably not anyway. In any case, there is no reason for this panic. Good lord.
What's the point of this?
I don't understand. Just to show that it's devastating to the people if Modelland closes for some unknown reason.
Okay, when our government shuts down, this doesn't happen.
Yeah, the government itself shut down and the world just kind of went on.
When we've had presidents killed,
there wasn't this much chaos.
There wasn't this level of chaos. People weren't gouging each other's eyeballs out and drowning other people in the streets. Like, this doesn't... So I don't understand.
And this is an event.
Why?
It's the 7-7 tournament. There is no reason for this panic.
I don't understand the logic behind this, because...
It's a lawless land.
It's a lawless land.
It doesn't follow, like, any, like, a step... Like, they've made a point that, like, yes, like, the Day of Discovery is a huge thing throughout the world. But I haven't seen the clues in here in the book to justify this reaction from the people.
No. Like, we know they're crazy. They were sewer diving for the smizes. Mm-hmm. But that was for a chance to be part of Modelland. And now this is just an event that everybody's so bummed that we missed out on. We're going to murder people.
Yep. That, and, like, they talk about, like, oh, well, there's the Pilgrim Plague, and it's so awful. They had a group of, not even 10 people that caught this, plague and climbed up the mountain. That's, again, like, 10 people. Maybe there were a couple other groups, but they didn't run into anyone else, so it's not like you have massive floods devastated after the Day of Discovery trying to climb the mountain. They haven't shown that that the population throughout the world itself is this desperate. Mm-hmm. So this makes no sense.
No sense at all.
No logical sense. Why all the bedlam, you ask?
Yes.
Well, the only thing certain in the world, the only thing on which many people could depend, their single source of happiness and hope, has been postponed indefinitely. What did that mean? 1 day, 2, or forever?
Not forever, you guys.
Really, guys, and really, that's a huge leap to say. This was their single source of happiness and hope. And also the only thing on which many people could depend. Really?
Does no one have a loving relationship? Does no one have a loving family or friends? Like, guys.
Apparently not. And the only thing on which many people could depend? No.
No. I'm gonna say no. That's a pretty easy no.
I'm sorry, like, if your favorite, like, essentially, it's like having your favorite TV show be canceled.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucks.
Let's say the world leaders told us, okay, we're not having Christmas this year. We can't afford to perpetuate this for some reason. Like, well, okay, we can still get together and hang out.
Exactly.
Like, we're not going to go into mass chaos.
What's like an equivalent of this? Something everyone tunes in and looks forward to.
The Super Bowl.
Yes, the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl's been canceled.
They're No, actually, I could see very upset football fans rioting in the streets.
I could see very upset football fans rioting, but I can't see anyone, like, throwing themselves off of buildings or like any like factory that produces like any sort of team paraphernalia or produces the jerseys or anything. They just quit. I can't see that. I can't see like companies shutting down because of that. No. It would suck. You'd have very angry fans, but this is what they do. They'd go on the internet and complain.
Yep.
And rant on the internet, and there'd be big news coverage about it, but you would not get this reaction. I don't think anyone, maybe not anyone, but I don't think you'd have people throwing themselves from buildings or drowning one another.
Gouging eyes out. Why? I don't know.
Like whoever made the decision to shut down the Super Bowl would probably receive death threats.
Oh yeah,
from crazy fans, but they probably wouldn't have it be carried out.
Nope.
No, you'd have very angry fans, but yeah, you wouldn't have like this mass chaos. This is the closest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
Or like even the Olympics.
Yeah.
They've done that before. Like in World War II, they did not hold the Olympics, which sucks for all the athletes. But you know, but they was at war, and no one did anything.
Yep. We have priorities.
Yeah.
Priorities, people. Priorities.
Guys. Alright. Only 2, 3, 4 pages in.
Oof.
Think about how you'd feel, darling. Think about if someone suffocated you, strangled you, cut off your nose, held you underwater, for that is how the globe's population felt. Guru Ganero's announcement had cut off the world's oxygen supply, and they were desperately gulping for air. I'm breaking.
Oh,
we didn't think about how we'd feel, and I still cannot think that there'd be this much chaos.
No way. No way.
No. In the depths of the stadium, Persimmon led Tukey through a dripping corridor and stopped at a heavy stone door with the words La Camera Bruta etched into it. The artery-like dungeon walls were red and pulsing, like they were inside a giant organ. There was a bloodthirsty feeling in the air, as well as the unpleasant odor of human waste. Tukey recognized the eerie place as the location where she had first seen Ctilda abusing herself, but she had only peeked in. She had not entered. Persimmon finally spoke. The ugly room is a place for those who have committed vile sins far worse than the ones that send Bellas to the catwalk corridor. Ctilda spent some time here, didn't she? Tukey asked, already knowing the answer. Persimmon nodded. Every mirror, every surface in this room reflects the most repugnant version of the transgressor. Now close your eyes. Tukey did as she was told, and Persimmon sprayed a fine golden mist around her face. Anti-repugnancy sprit, Persimmon explained, to make sure you don't experience the ugly room's effects.
Anti-ugly spray.
Yep. Anti-repugnancy spritz. Tukey opened her eyes once more. Persimmon still stood in front of her, as if she wanted to say something. Tukey thought of the memory she'd just seen. I'm sorry, she said in a small voice. About, you. Persimmon lowered her head. So am I, she sighed, then sharply turned and walked away. A moment later, Ctilda stepped inside the ugly room. While Persimmon sprayed her, Tukey overheard Persimmon whispering in Ctilda's ear. Do you realize that if you were never born, I'd be you, a 777. The day you took your first breath was the day my life ended. Whoa. Persimmon took one last look at Ctilda and then left the room. Yes, that's right. Just make this already depressed, mentally unstable person feel more guilty. And it's not Ctilda's fault. When Ctilda opened her eyes, she looked guilty, fragile, and naive instead of confident and strong. She turned to go after Persimmon, but stopped when she heard Tukey's voice. Ctilda, it's not your fault. Or Persimmon's. You're both victims. Are you okay? Ctilda shrugged. I have no idea. She sounded absolutely drained. An ominous voice boomed from above, as if the room itself was speaking to them. The gates will rise, and you too can see your mothers now. Tukey and Ctilda walked together down the long, dark red corridor. They were greeted with a new smell, the stench of rotting flesh, which grew stronger with every step. They stopped at a room that looked like a gaping red mouth, badly lit and filled with shadows and more rancid smells. The belladonna sat upright in a chair, dressed in a gray, ugly room jumpsuit, similar to the one Ctilda had worn. Her body faced a wall of mirrors, which reflected not the lovely woman they had just seen in the flesh for the first time, but a pockmarked, scaly-skinned beast. She had entrails for hair, a twisted tree root for a nose, and millipedes for eyelashes.
Okay!
Alright! The belladonna writhed in pain at her hideous reflection, but she couldn't turn away. A restraint around her head forced her to face forward. Her wrists and ankles were bound to the chair, which was bolted to the floor. Metal clamps held her eyes open, making blinking impossible.
Okay, then.
A saline stream dripped into her eyes from a clear bag above. Oh my gosh, I can't read this. Like, my eyes themselves are burning just reading this. Okay. Oh, Tukey gasped, averting her eyes. The belladonna's face reminded her of a ghastly version of her own THBC. Next to her, Creamy, also dressed in an ugly room jumpsuit, lay on a cot, her filthy feet splayed out, her dingy, wrinkled skin looking even more puckered and damaged than usual. Her slit-cake eyes were shut tight. Tubes protruded from her veins. Wires stretched from her nose. A bag was attached to her gut, draining blood. Bellissima lay on her back next to Creamy. Someone had kindly wiped the dirt from the doll's face.
They're draining the blood from her wound?
My guess is she's got internal bleeding. I'm hoping that they're actually, putting blood back in.
But it just sounds like, okay, so usually you drain to prevent an infection, but you're not draining the blood. Right, that would typically be the idea.
I
Put a
don't
drainage
know.
tube in, but you wouldn't do it to...
I think that she's probably got... Again, I think she's probably got internal bleeding, and they're probably trying to fix that. Or not fix that, but at least get blood out of where it's not supposed to be. Yeah. But yeah, again, I'm hoping that they are giving her blood transfusions.
Hopefully.
To, replace the blood that's being taken out. Why are they not in the infirmary?
I don't know, because she was bad, I guess. She broke in once the Belladonna let her in.
And, like, she's done, granted, she has done awful things, so I guess that she kind of just, she deserves to be in the ugly room according to the book, but...
people who've broken the law and who've been shot and injured are in the hospital first.
Yep, you still try and preserve life.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what's happening here. And this is, like, 3.5 hours later or something.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tukey studied Creamy carefully. My mom doesn't look that much different from when she was in the flashback room. I guess the ugly room figured she was already dirty and ugly enough, C.L. said. Tukey looked desperately at C.L. Do you think my mom's going to die? C.L. pulled out a chair for Tukey to sit and read a medical chart at the foot of Creamy's cot. It says here that no vital organs were hit, but that she's lost a lot of blood. It looks like it's touch and go, but if your mom survives, Tukey, she'll probably remain in the ugly room for a long time, possibly a life sentence. She broke a serious rule by invading Modelland. You saw the flashback. She was banned for life. That is what we're most concerned about?
Yeah. Really, guys?
Why is Miracle not in there, then?
Yeah, what happened to Miracle?
I mean, she was probably off dancing with the acrobats, but she also broke into Modelland. And Creamy, at least, like, just the Belladonna let her in later on.
Yeah.
So all she did was scale the wall, which, yeah, that is, like, breaking in. But, yeah, what about Miracle? She did the same thing.
What the heck?
Tukey inched closer to Creamy's cot. The woman looked so small. Nothing like the Creamy Tukey knew back in Utopia. The flashback Tukey had just lived through swam through her mind, filling her with confusion, awe, and shame. Who was Creamy? How had she been capable of such terrible betrayal of a girl who was supposed to be her best friend? How was it that Tukey never knew about any of this? And yet she lived under her mother's roof for 15 whole years. The mysterious creature who lay before her had never uttered a word about being at Modelland, knowing the Belladonna, or wingtip, Ray. But then again, would Tukey have wanted to know about any of it? Tukey touched her mother's foot. It was ice cold. Creamy, she struggled to get the words out. I love you. All I've ever wanted is for you to love me but back. Creamy didn't answer. All Tukey heard was the sucking sounds of her mother's blood and tubes. Tukey glanced at C.L., who was slumped over, whispering her own plaintive, pent-up feelings to the Belladonna's turned back. I was raised in poverty, with barely anything, but a wonderful woman raised me. 3 other beautiful girls, Kendall, Woodland, and Kevin. Then I got chosen to come to Modelland, and I had to leave them all. It was so hard, but never once did you acknowledge I was yours. The Belladonna didn't respond. I know you loved me before, Tukey continued, her heart pounding. I saw that one flashback when I was a baby. What happened after that to make you hate me? Did you ever want me back after you got your youth back? C.L. asked the Belladonna. Did you ever come looking for me after you became an Intoxibella? C.L. and Tukey were crying out in stereo, their own small chorus of pain and questioning. Or were you happy to give me up in exchange for your beauty? Why didn't you ever think I was special, Tukey said. All of a sudden, I realized she wasn't... Oh. Why didn't you ever think I was special, Tukey said. All of a sudden, she realized she wasn't stuttering any longer. You should have, Creamy, because I am. And even if I don't belong here, I'm still worth something. I know that now. C.L. wiped the tears from her cheeks and stared at the Belladonna. When I went off message, when I dug up, C.L. paused. Obvious in pain.
Oh, whoops. Telling you, the editors gave up.
C.L. paused. Obvious in pain. Obviously? I guess if you really want to stretch it, obvious in pain could...
No.
Kind of work. Like, she paused. Obvious in pain.
No.
Not really.
No.
Not really. Obviously,
it
would be a huge stretch and very unconventional, like, grammatical standards.
Yeah.
It should be obviously. Or you could say obvious in her pain.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It changes the meaning of
it. It changes the entire meaning, though, yeah. So, in this context, it should be obviously in pain. Then she continued. When I did what I did, why did you bring me back here? You should have just sent me away somewhere. Cut me loose. Been free of me from life. That's what you wanted. Suddenly, the Belladonna wrenched her head, breaking free from the restraint. She turned and stared into C.L.'s eyes so harshly that C.L. jumped back. Listen to me, child, because I will only say this once. Gennaro was going to kill you for what you did. Your act threatened everything we stand for here, C.L. We all were livid, furious, disgusted by your actions, and I was embarrassed. But Nars, oh, he was the worst. He put a price on your head, and even though I detested what you did and knew it was justifiable to punish you with death, I could not let that happen. Not to my child. Your day of discovery was so long ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. I brought you here so I could spend every day with you, so that I could watch you grow and learn and live close to me. I realized it was too little, too late. I realized it did not make up for giving you away, but it's the best I could do. So what you want about, again, that Tukey is still wrong, and that she's not the person that Belladonna brought here. The person Belladonna brought here, who she's not supposed to, is C.L.
Yeah, I would say
so again, Tukey is still there legitimately, is my thought.
I could see that.
Yep. No, it's not. You could have refused to give me up in the first place, Cetilda roared, clutching the Belladonna's arm. You could have let go of your pride and your vanity and raised me, kept me as your own. I know that now, but you saw everything in that flashback. The difficult position I was in. The lies, the trickery. I was confused. But what's done is done, Cetilda. The decision I made that day was the worst choice of my life. I've always regretted it. I've always wondered, what if? Yes, I've been hard on you this past year, but it's because I'm looking out for you. I'm trying to save you from harm. If you do not reform, Nars has every right to execute you. You are my whole world, Cetilda. More than Modelland. More than anything. The Belladonna erupted into violent sobs. When I had you, I looked into your gray eyes, and the first thing I said was, I see love. And Cetilda, every time I see you, even right now, I see love. That's how I named you. Cetilda, see love. So it is supposed to be CL, but I still like Cetilda, but
yeah. Oh, hi, you gotta join me too.
Also, again, I ask the question, how much power does the Belladonna have if Gennaro Nars seems to be the one in control? I thought the Belladonna was the one that had the most power.
Yeah, like the queen kind of a thing.
Right, but apparently she's more like a figurehead, I guess?
I guess so. And the board is the one's under control.
Yep, but like, that doesn't make sense because the previous Belladonna seemed like she had all the power.
Which is weird.
I don't know. Maybe this is because this Belladonna has no backbone.
Could be.
Which I'm kind of thinking she doesn't. Anyway, Cetilda's mouth dropped open. Her chin trembled. She was trying desperately not to cry. Really? She whispered tenderly. Yes, baby, the Belladonna blubbered. Yes, my love. Tears ran down Cetilda's cheeks. She tore away the leg and wrist restraints on the Belladonna. The shackles fell to the ground. Cetilda then collapsed her head onto her mother's lap, and the Belladonna leaned forward, embracing her daughter. I know. The only sounds in the ugly room were the racking sobs of Cetilda and the Belladonna, when without warning, the sound of heavy doors banging filled the space. Guards rushed in and surrounded Cetilda and the Belladonna. Gennaro Nars pushed to the front of the group. Get up, body girl. You're coming with us. He grabbed Cetilda. A look of fear flashed across Cetilda's face. Tuki recalled what the Belladonna had just said about Nars wanting to kill her. The Belladonna stood up. Nars, get your hands off my daughter. Gennaro wrinkled his nose. Oh, now she's your daughter. Then he looked at Cetilda with hatred. Body girl, you must pay for who you are and what the hell you have become. Excuse me. Tuki jumped to her feet too. Cetilda, she cried. Shut up, crazy eyes, Nars screamed, and the guards dragged Cetilda out of the room. Tuki took one last look at her mother and then slipped out of the ugly room, following close behind. Okay, so the Belladonna grows a spine, tries to stand up, and then just still lets it happen.
Yeah. I hate it all so much because
why does Nars have all the power? He's like, again, isn't the Belladonna supposed to be the one in charge?
Yeah, she is the one in
charge. Again, I keep thinking of her as like the queen of Modelland, and historically, if the king or queen does something bad, well, that's just too bad. They're the queen, king and queen. They're above the law.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought the Belladonna was, considering like the previous Belladonna had all the power, and throughout the book, it seemed like the Belladonna was the one with the power, and that the only reason she wasn't doing anything to Cetilda was because Cetilda had dirt on her and like knew all the skeletons in her closet, which obviously she didn't. I don't.
And I hate this Belladonna Cetilda reunion
thing,
where it's like I've always loved. I'm not getting that vibe.
Got a funny way of showing it.
I'm not getting that vibe. No. Don't listen, Cetilda.
I'm like, yes, the Belladonna, like, it's shown that, like, in the last, like, flashback where we got our info dump, that, yeah, she actually does love Cetilda and didn't really want to give her up, but she also did not really fight to keep her or have any sort of, she just didn't have any spine, didn't really put up a fight, didn't stand up to her own mother. And so, and like, I'm sure Cetilda is probably just happy that she feels wanted and loved, but she's had her own awful relationship with the Belladonna for years, which I kind of find hard to have all of that undone in just a couple hours.
Yeah. This would take something. This is something that would take years to repair a relationship.
Because I don't have this experience. I don't know what Cetilda is going through, but she's obviously had this awful relationship with the Belladonna. The Belladonna's like tried to embarrass her and almost like torture her throughout the last year when Tuki's seen this. There's been problems before that, it's hinted at. And then she finds out Belladonna's her mom. Belladonna gave her up and didn't fight to keep her. And now all of a sudden everything is fine. Like, I don't know. I can see where like some some of, like, this reunion is coming from, but I can't see them all of a sudden being fine with everything. No. Again, I think this is a whole mess that would take lots of years and some, like, deep, like, soul-searching to figure out, like, how do you feel about each other after all this?
Yeah. You couldn't be okay right
I don't know. And then the Belladonna now is, without any restraints, is standing up. It's like, get your hands off my daughter. And just lets them walk by. It's like, what? And also, can Cetilda not use her powers? She should be able to teleport or, like, convince...
really, though.
All the guards to just do whatever she wants?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But don't use those magic powers you have.
I don't know. Unless they got taken away, but... She's also seen, like, teleports, like, outside Modelland and, like, flies through the streets after Tuki, so she's got some of her powers.
Yeah, she should.
I don't know. Your turn.
Chapter 46. With perfect execution.
Oh, boy.
Beautification Boulevard was pandemonium. Bellas walked around in a daze, not understanding what was happening. The upper-class Bellas, their fates suspended indefinitely, cried in protest. Zen lay in a heap outside the stadium.
See, these are the only people that actually have a right to be upset to that extent.
Yep. Zen lay in a heap outside the stadium, tears and makeup running down her face. I can't believe this, she wailed. I held on to my no-Cetilda look for 48 whole minutes. I could have done it today. I could have become an Intoxibella. Mannequins rushed around, but without instructions from the Belladonna, they were aimless and useless. Everyone knew something was up, but they didn't know what. A mob flanked Cetilda and Gennaro as they emerged from the ugly room. Where's the Belladonna? Voices cried. Why is she not showing herself? Why has she postponed the 7-7 tournament? Why is she doing this to us? Nars didn't answer, whipping past them without even giving them a second look. Then the girls noticed Cetilda, whom the guards were dragging by her hair. Horrible screeches emitted from Cetilda's mouth. What are you doing to her? The girls asked. Zen ran to the front of the crowd. Let Cetilda go! You're hurting us! She shrieked. Nars shoved Zen aside. Tuki breathed heavily to keep up with Nars and Cetilda as they marched toward the M. When Nars approached the building, the entrance slid open. The guards pushed Cetilda inside. Tuki slipped in just before the giant doors closed once more.
Did they not notice her? Or do they just not care?
I guess they don't care she's following. The sounds of the angry mob were muffled once the doors banged shut. No one stopped her. No one saw her. If there was ever a good time to be a Forget-A-Girl, this was it.
Okay, so that's bringing that back into play, but she hasn't, essentially been a Forget-A-Girl where no one's noticed her ever since she got to Modelland.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, that's convenient, because it's not like something she actively tries to do.
Yep. Just labels herself as that whenever it's convenient. Nars led Cetilda down the glass corridor Tuki recognized from the last time she'd been in the M. Then he slapped a button on a wall, and the large frosted glass door split into two halves and swung open. Tuki blinked to adjust to the stark brightness of the room. Inside was the grand chamber she had seen before. Bizarrely shaped windows, some like triangles, some like trapezoids, some round portals speckled the high walls. Tuki felt like she was entrapped in a surrealist crystal painting. The three-dimensional tic-tac-toe board loomed at the front of the room, seemingly transported back from the stadium. A member of the board occupied each seat, staring down. Okay, I was making sure they spelled. It's interesting, they spelled board like an actual like game board.
Wait, what?
Like tic-tac-toe board. So like the thing that they sit on, the board instead of the board. So I got caught off guard for a second because I'm like, they spelled it right this time. What?
But they didn't, because they're actually using like an actual tic-tac-toe board. Not the board of directors spelled, what was it, B-O-R-E-D? Like they're just sitting there and they're bored.
Because they spelled like that 2 sentences later. A member of the board occupied each seat, staring down on Cetilda as the guards pushed her into a bright golden spotlight. For once, the eyes of the board members were wide open. Their faces were alert, interested, maybe even nervous. Guru Applause's hand was chewing one of its own fingernails.
What? So you have so is like their like finger like curled around like down into your mouth, or is it like their actual like hands?
Oh, I don't know.
Chewing those?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Weird for no reason.
Well, I mean, I guess you could put like your finger and show like assuming you had a face on like your hand.
Like, maybe, I guess.
Your finger.
I have no experience with that life, but...
I don't know. It's creepy.
Tuki slipped behind a wall of glass that had just turned opaque, her heart pounding. Cetilda appeared at the waiting tribunal. Tribunal? Cetilda appeared at the waiting tribunal. Her hands shook by her sides. Her knees knocked. What else do I have to do? I'm on message.
So, like, there's a way of saying, like, when they say off message, that means, like, you're off the grid, I believe. So, like, you disappear. So when you're on message, it's like you're here, you're communicating, thing.
Okay.
On the grid, but
That's
it
just a
doesn't
weird
make
way to
sense.
say
I've
that.
never heard that used before in this book. I don't know if it's an actual phrase or expression.
I don't think every expression has an opposite expression to convey the opposite thing. You know what I mean? Like, you could say off message, but I don't think on message is a thing.
I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and that's why I got so confused very
just
quick.
Use a different word.
Just say it differently.
Be normal.
Be normal, Tyra, please.
I know it's hard with this book, but just try to be a little bit more normal.
What else do I have to do? I'm on message. Modelland is perfect. One type of beauty is the only beauty that exists. Blah, blah, blah. See?
Oh, maybe if it means on message, maybe instead of being like on or off the grid, it's she's sharing the correct message that Modelland wants her to convey. So it means like I'm on message, I'm saying what you want.
Yeah.
Maybe?
I would just say that instead of saying I'm on message.
I've done what you said.
Yeah, I've done
just
what you asked me
I've done what you said.
Yep. A loud gavel struck the glass table and shattered it, cutting C-L off. I've had just about enough of you, body girl, Nars growled. Then he signaled for the board. They rose in unison. Without a word, Nars dragged C-L to a contraption and slammed her head into what looked like a crystal guillotine.
Oh dear.
Guards, he called behind him. Let's hurry up and get this over with. Tuki's scalp prickled. Her stomach churned. They were about to behead C-L.
Again, she should be able to teleport. Yeah. Also, what has she actually done that's worse now?
I don't understand.
Is just like Nars like gonna take over? Is this a coup?
Yeah, it's basically
a coup d'etat.
I think this is a coup. It has to be. It's the only explanation of what's going on, is he's just decided to take over.
Because he is the more militaristic figure.
Yeah.
He's the one that runs boot camp, is the one that's been like kind of in charge and has a spine because the Belladonna doesn't.
So he's just kind of taking over now. He's like, well, I wanted to kill her before, so now we're going to kill her before anybody else says anything. Two guards marched up to the guillotine, their faces grave.
Why are they also killing C-Tilda? Wouldn't it make more sense to like take out the Belladonna if that's what he's actually, if he's actually after a coup? So I don't understand why the logic is.
Just murder. Murder's fun. I can get away with it right now since I'm in power. The other board members visibly quivered. Tuki could hear her pulse racing in her ears as one guard smoothed C-L's hair away from the back of her neck. I don't think that's going to make a difference with the guillotine. I think it's going to cut through your hair if it's going to cut through your neck.
Yeah.
I don't think your hair is strong enough to stop it or interrupt it.
And like the idea, like, yeah, you can see where the guillotine's going to go, but like, I think it'll still be accurate enough.
You've got enough space to hit your mark. The other adjusted the guillotine. The first guard held C-L's shoulder still. Please, C-L screamed. Just hurry up and do it. Whoa.
Well, alright. Alright.
I was like, please, like, let me go. No, hurry up and do it. The diamond blade glimmered in the light, blinding Tuki, just like her mother's mirror had blinded Chris Kremkrabat on the tightrope many years before. She squinted for a moment, watching the blurry guillotine rushing towards C-L's neck. Just as the blade reached it, red liquid gushed from C-L's neck, covering her body, and then an object appeared on C-L's head, a fashionable, off-kilter crown. The red liquid transformed into fabric, a stately red damask cape. All at once, the other board members began to applaud. To the new Belladonna!
What? What?
I don't know what's going on anymore.
This is the worst coronation ritual ever! What the hell?
So, were they actually crowning her this whole time?
I don't know. Let's see how Nars reacts.
The color returned to C-L's cheeks. She stood and looked up around confusedly, then felt the crown on her head with the tips of her fingers. Is this a joke? Fortunately, no, body girl, Nars growled.
Oh, okay. He's not happy.
So apparently
it's supposed to be an execution. Oh boy. What kind of a switch is that from the board? Like, oh no, they're gonna kill her, but we're not gonna do anything. Oh, you're the new queen!
This makes no sense. You are the Belladonna's daughter. You are technically royalty, Guru Plaza said.
So we can't kill you.
And as you know, the mantle of La Belladonna passes from one member of La Famille Royale to the next. You, C-L, are the only living heir. Once your Bella lineage was verified, we summoned you here.
What? That they dragged her there by her hair and put her in a guillotine. No, this is just bad writing. This is just trying to get us to freak out because she's gonna be executed, and just like, oh, just kidding. No, that's just poor writing. No. That's just poor writing. Also, if I was the new Belladonna and they did that to me, the board would be gone.
I would have them all beheaded. Like, see how you guys like this.
So then is the old Belladonna dead? I thought that you had to have the previous Belladonna pass away before they crowned the next Belladonna. Because it said that the previous Belladonna, before LaDonna, she'd never see her be the Belladonna.
I hate all of this. It was almost unanimous, it said, eyeing Gennaro. But my extra hand in the air got us less votes we needed. Less votes. Not less votes. The votes we needed. But a vote was twice unnecessary. Royalty always prevails. I flip the bird to democracy. What the hell, guys? Stop.
That's still democracy if it was almost unanimous.
Why were they
democracy,
voting?
Yes.
Why are they voting for royalty?
Yeah, they said it always passes to royalty.
So why
are you voting?
Why does this formality exist?
What is Applausa saying? Because they said the vote was almost unanimous. I'm assuming Gennaro's the only one that didn't vote for her.
Yep.
So that's still democracy.
Yeah.
In the idea that majority rules.
This is so dumb.
This is stupid.
This is
so stupid.
C. Tilda scratched her head. Me? The Belladonna? Seriously? Oui, oui, ma belle petite. Come on now. Take your rightful seat. Guru Applause said, gesturing to the middle throne on the risers. C. Tilda looked at it, a frightened expression crossing her face. Gennaro raised his brows hopefully. You can say no. It is an immense responsibility after all. Body. C. Tilda shot him a don't you dare look, cutting him off. If you call me body girl one more time, Gennaro, there is no way to speak. That is no way to speak to the newly crowned Belladonna. Is that a yes? The other board members said in unison. C. Tilda nodded. I suppose it is, she said, smirking at Nars. Everyone except Nars began to applaud. Yes! Tukey screamed, forgetting she was in hiding. The guards whipped around. They spied Tukey and lunged for her. Gennaro screeched. What are you doing here? Is this seamstress? Applause said, confused. I'm sorry, Tukey stammered. I was just... Gennaro cut Tukey off, pinning her arms behind her back. Princess Belladonna. She's not Princess Belladonna anymore, right?
She'd be queen, right? Or are they crowning her as princess? No, she's not she'd be the Belladonna.
I'm so confused how this monarchy works.
I'm so confused. I think it's just Gennaro being an ass and calling her princess.
Yeah. I will handle this crazy-eyed, shouldn't be a Bella intruder. It took C. Tilda a moment to realize that Gennaro was addressing her. Slowly, she descended from her throne and approached Tukey. What are you doing here? What, did you follow me here? You were not allowed in the M building. I just wanted to help you, Tukey cried. I was afraid you were in trouble. I can take care of myself, C. Tilda spat. I love these character 180s. Oh my god, C. Tilda has turned into a demon again. Where can I run? Tukey thought, panicked. C. Tilda spun around and eyed Gennaro and the guards. Release her immediately. I will punish her myself. Gennaro smirked, please. Yeah. The guards dropped Tukey's arms. And C. Tilda said, sorry, Tukey, I was totally kidding. I was spooky, huh? Like before, when I was crazy. But I'm not crazy now, but I feel crazy because I'm the frickin' Belladonna.
This is so bad!
I'm so nervous, and now I'm sweating again. You know how I sweat. Come here, girl. And then C. Tilda wrapped Tukey in a big hug. I hate this because this character would never say or act anything like this.
Like, she's trying to screw with the board, specifically Gennaro, but like, why not just... It would have been much more powerful and better to essentially just flip Gennaro off by being like, she is my guest. You will release her because you do as I say. And then showing her power that way of, regardless of what you want, you will listen to me. Yeah. Because I'm the Belladonna. Again, I'm very confused on, like, the power hierarchy and how this works.
Yeah. Who is C. Tilda?
Because apparently who is C. Tilda? Why is she acting like this? Why can they arrest the Belladonna when they're supposed to have her be in charge?
C. Tilda, you totally freaked me out, Tukey said, giggling nervously. I thought you were gonna kill me.
I don't think I'd be laughing.
No,
I don't think I'd be laughing.
Gennaro, C. Tilda called out to Nars. Don't you dare harm a curly, straight, wavy, or frizzy hair on her head. Ever. Gennaro grimaced like he smelled something foul, but reluctantly nodded. Thank you, Tukey whispered to C. Tilda, dipping into a respectful curtsy. C. Tilda snickered. Oh, get up. There's not gonna be any of that idiotic kowtowing during my reign. She looked at Nars. And you. If you have a problem with treating Tukey with the respect she deserves, you can kiss my big fat Princess Belladonna ass. Gennaro just stared in shock. And speaking of kissing, I want you, Mr. Nars, to bow down right now to kiss Miss Tukey and I want you to bow down right now to Miss Tukey and kiss her feet. I want you to kiss Tukey right now.
No.
Nars blinked hard. What? That's right. C. Tilda placed her hands on her hips. I'm the Princess Belladonna, baby. The head biatch in charge. And from now on, you will do whatever, capitalized, I say.
See, you could have cut out the whole dialogue of her, like, trying to freak out Tukey and just started with that. Yep. Towards Nars and be like, go kiss her feet.
Reluctantly, Gennaro took mincing steps up to Tukey. He fell to his knees, puckered his lips, and kissed Tukey's shoes, which were still soiled with ugly room crud. And Tukey had to admit it felt pretty damn good. Two more chapters.
Also, your son is kind of freaking out.
Is he kind of just like passed out right now?
His eyes are slits. And
is he alright?
Yeah.
He's breathing, right? Yep. He's just so full of himself.
This is your son.
My son, are you alright? Are you okay over there, mister?
He's breathing, so he's
okay.
okay.
Okay, good.
But look at his crazy eyes.
He's coming for the kill.
Oh dear.
Oh,
he just twitched. He's awake.
He's awake. I thought for sure, maybe he's sleeping. He sleeps with his eyes open sometimes.
That was the most horrifying sleeping pose that I've ever seen.
Yep, that'd be my boy.
Alright, chapter 47. La Lengua? Is that a V or a U? It's gotta be a U, right?
I think so.
La Lengua. Also, I'm so glad that C. Tilda has a spine. It's the first, well, not the first Belladonna, but I'm glad she's got a spine, because the previous Belladonna did not.
Yay.
Chapter 47. La Lengua. Tukey emerged from the M building and started back towards the D, still numb with shock. Had it really happened? Was C. Tilda L. truly the new Princess Belladonna? Had Gennaro honestly kissed Tukey's dirty, oversized feet as though she were the queen of Gaudi? Pure, unfiltered happiness filled her from the tips of her toes to the top of her head. She couldn't wait to tell the Unikas what had happened.
Hi, are you alright?
Why are the Unikas even like... They've been missing since, what, 3-4 chapters ago?
At least.
There was no reason for them to even be there. It would have made more sense for them to just not be in there when Creamy shows up. And
honestly, should not even have been in the book. They serve no purpose.
They're not important to the story, although they're...
Tukey's barely even important to the story. Tukey didn't need to exist.
The final part of this book has shifted so far away from the focus on Tukey.
Yeah.
And I don't know the message this is trying to show for the book now. Like, I don't know the overarching message. And I think, like, the Unikas are important to show, like, oh, look, people accept Tukey for who she is. But they have no purpose being in this last part of the book. Or at least they should not have been there when, like, they go and see Creamy and the Belladonna. They should not have been there. They played no role. They serve no purpose for that part. They should have been cut out as soon as they get back to Modelland and they're headed towards the tournament. Have them run off to the tournament, have Tukey stop and take a moment to talk to C. Tilda L or something, then have Creamy show up, then go into the M building or wherever it was they were. Yeah. That's what should have happened. And then only bring them up again right here because they haven't served a purpose in that previous part. She couldn't wait to tell the Unikas what had happened. She could just picture Dylan almost fainting from glee, Shiraz doing a victory dance, and Piper smiling, hypothesizing how Modelland's conditions would improve under C. Tilda L's rule. The whole world around Tukey glistened as though it had been scrubbed clean. Many girls along Tukey's walk were still distraught, and some hysterical over the abrupt ending of the 7-7 tournament. Only Carmelini walked among the crowd, unscathed and unbothered, bopping to her headbanger. Tukey wanted to throw her arms around the girl. If Carmelini hadn't told her to run into the O on the first day there, Tukey might not be at Modelland today. But Carmelini was too far away. Tukey would have to thank her later. What? I don't understand. When did Carmelini do this? And what?
Oh, Carmelini, like, Tukey tripped or something and panicked during like, the trials.
Okay.
To, like, get into Modelland.
Gotcha.
I think that's what happened.
Okay. Tukey was overflowing with delight and practically skipped down the path toward the D entrance. A rustling sound in the bushes made her stop short.
Oh, no!
Let's see.
No!
Oh, no, it's someone different. I thought it was going to be Bravo, and it's not.
Oh, thank God.
Zizi stepped out from behind the bushes, eyeing Tukey dangerously.
I'm just glad it's not Bravo.
Yep, Tukey froze, her euphoria suddenly fading away. She wasn't in the mood for a confrontation. Look, Zizi, for the last time, I didn't tell anyone your secret, okay?
Also, hang on. Just this image, these bushes rustled, and somebody rose out of the bushes. I just thinking Storm you again.
I know, Zizi said. Tukey blinked hard. You do? Zizi thrust her chin into the air. I went back to the feds and asked some questions. Dr. Erica told me everything that happened that night. You know. She told me she asked around, seeing if anyone knew anything about my history, and no one did. Not even you. Her eyebrows arched. Why didn't you tell them? I mean, I would have if I were you. Survival of the fittest. First, you want me to keep it a secret. Now you want me to tell? No, that's not what she's saying.
No, it's not.
Tukey threw up her hands in confusion. Whatever happened to you is your business, but your harsh reality is still no excuse to be evil, Zizi. This is a place for all of us to start fresh, to forget what happened in our previous lives. Zizi leaned back and examined Tukey in full, perhaps really looking at her for the first time. Well, I guess this is where I say, I don't know. Thank you, she said begrudgingly. But if you think we're going to, bond now, you're sorely mistaken. I don't need a shoulder to cry on about my crappy family. Certainly not your scraggly-ass shoulder. Whatever, Zizi. Tukey shrugged, mad at herself for even thinking Zizi had changed. Then Zizi stepped forward and stuck her finger in Tukey's face. And what was all that in the Orb-Arena about my Theophilus?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Well, that's okay, Zizi. Apparently, according to Modelland rules, you're not allowed to date a civilian.
Yep.
So, unfortunately...
Bye-bye.
Which also is a stupid rule. I feel like... Okay, so if the only people that get into Modelland... Sorry, not the only people, but if the...
Okay. Check out the elevator.
Mostly from consumers.
Okay. Something to notice on it? Okay. Alright.
Well, marking something.
Maybe it needs to be there that way, and it sucks. I don't know what they're doing. Can I help you?
Gotta be from consumers. He's taking notes on something about it. There was a bent part on the bowl for whatever the wires are under, so I don't know if.
Interesting. Alright. I'll never be used to people living right outside or walking right outside.
Well, it's fine if they just walk by. Not cool if they just
stop and start doing random things.
Okay, well, let's see. Where was I? Something about my Theophilus. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So it really sucks that you're only allowed to date someone from, Bestastro, because they're saying that if you're a child of one of the Bellas or Intoxibellas, you have, 100% chance of getting in. Okay. It's the same for Bestastro. Is there gonna be any, gene mixing in there? I feel like it's gonna be a little bit narrower of a gene pool.
Oh, it would be.
So if you're only allowed to marry a Bestastro and have kids with a Bestastro person, and your kids are guaranteed to get into Modelland, I feel like there's a lot of kissing cousins that you'd have to try and avoid.
It would take a few years,
granted,
but it would happen.
They do take, other people that aren't, children of people that have been to Modelland or Bestastro, but you'd probably have to be kind of careful to make sure, alright, were your parents in Modelland or Bestastro? Oh, shoot, okay, well, no, I guess it wouldn't be that they're related. Never mind, so that won't work. It's just that I think that's a very limited number of people you'd ever have to choose from to possibly date. Very limited. That's a stupid rule. But anyway, poor Zizi. It's not your Theophilus anymore.
Nope.
Tukey blinked. She'd forgotten what she'd said about Theophilus in the heat of the moment.
Yeah,
I just wanted to make Bravo jealous, she said in a small voice. There's no way she could get into the Theophilus argument with Tsar Pasanau. His was the first name I thought of. I think it's also supposed to be Theophilus, but that's okay.
That's fine. I like Theophilus.
This seemed to satisfy Zizi, and she placed her hands on her hips. Don't ever think Theophilus would be into you, you unfortunate-looking, big-headed, crazy-eyed, forgettable bitch. Stay away from him, and from me too, because if you ever tell, I'll make your life a living hell. Worse than the hell I live back at home.
Worse than the hell of Tilda.
Also, she capitalizes unfortunate-looking, but not any of the other words.
That's so weird.
It doesn't make sense to capitalize that. And also, she's already making Tukey's life a living hell.
Yeah,
so.
we're already there, honey. You don't need to try any harder.
No. Tukey shrank back, her eyes wide. But even though she was trembling inside, she mustered a smile. You're welcome, Zizi, she said as the girl walked away. Tukey slumped down on a bench for a moment, trying to shake off Zizi's hatred. She heard the bushes rustle again and jumped up, prepared for the wrath of Zizi. Round 2. Webb, Alexander, and O'Neill appeared from the bushes, surrounding her. We haven't started you in this.
We had to, but they're rising. Why are they all it's a wild Pokemon encounter?
A wild Webb, Alexander, and O'Neill appeared.
A horde of Pistastros appeared. What the heck?
A knife of fear sliced through Tukey's chest. All she could think of was the lewd things all she could think of were the lewd things Bravo's friends had probably said to him when the 4 of them had hatched a bet about Tukey. She rolled her shoulders back and tried to push past them. Excuse me, she said tightly. I'm better than they are, she chanted again and again in her head. Zutilda Elk, the Princess Belladonna, thinks so. Tukey, wait, Webb said, grabbing Tukey's hand. And in a split second, all 3 boys stripped off their uniform shirts, revealing tan, mahogany, and gold skin and sharply defined pectoral and abdominal muscles.
What?
Tuki recoiled and turned away.
Yeah.
Now they were stripping for her? Did they want a piece of her too? I'm not
Good
everyone's
Lord.
bet, she shrieked. Leave me the hell alone. But then she noticed there was something written on their chest in goopy red paint. Tuki, one's chest said. I'm so, Alexander said, and Neil said, sorry. Tuki read the word, frowning. She was seething. Was this some kind of joke? I mean, I kind of think so. And be like, what the hell, guys? She was about to turn away once more when the three boys jumped in unison, now showing her their backs. More words in the same red script were scrawled across their broad back muscles. It was never a bet. Okay, so Bravo, I'm assuming, is the one that put this together.
Yeah.
Or even if it's not, they thought it was a great idea to have essentially a strip show as an
Girls
apology.
love this stuff.
I think if you were really pissed at someone, this is not a way to apologize. This is like a joke. This is like a joke of how they're going about this. This isn't like a heartfelt thing. No. I don't think that you would make a lot of people very happy after what you said.
The three guys come up and just say, Tuki, what Bravo said what Bravo said wasn't true. There was never a bet. We never made a bet on you, blah, blah, blah. Right. You don't need to strip and then show off your what.
Yeah, right, Tuki stuttered. But when the boys turned back around, their expressions were plaintive and repentant, not teasing and disrespectful. From behind, someone grabbed Tuki's shoulder, and she turned to find
her assailant.
Bravo, in a perfectly fitted velvet tuxedo. Oh, God. Thanks, y'all, Bravo said, slapping his friend's hands. I owe you big time. Three boys pulled out the shirts, gave Tuki a polite nod, and disappeared down the path, leaving Tuki and Bravo alone. This seems more and more like a joke. It's like, this isn't even an apology coming from him. So they have, like, his friends go out there dancing, they show off all, like, their chests and back. And then he's, like, high-fiving them as, like, he shows up.
So weird.
If I was Tuki, I would be so pissed because they're taking it like a joke, like it's not a big deal with what he said. Oh, so bad. No. Oh dear. Tuki stared at him, still not sure if this was a joke. See, if it sounds like a joke, if it seems like a joke, this wasn't the right way to apologize. Yeah. Bravo approached her. So, he said nervously, you're back. That's right, she said stubbornly. There was a long silence. Finally, Bravo met her eyes. What they wrote on their chests is true, Tuki. There was never a bet. No, that was on their backs, Bravo.
Yeah. You're mistaken.
There was never a bet, I swear. I only told you that because I was mad you were leaving, and I thought you used me. Well, she did. I opened myself up to you, and I felt all vulnerable. Telling you that stuff gave you a lot of control over me.
Did it now, though?
And then I regretted telling you when you said you were leaving, and I stooped really low and tried to hurt you more than I was hurting. I'm so sorry. He shifted his feet on the path. But Tuki, I've never met anyone like you. I didn't want you to go. The architecture suddenly wasn't enough for me to want to stay here without you. Then he chuckled lightly. I wanted to write, Tuki, you're the most amazing girl I have ever laid eyes on. I can't decide which to love more, your green eye or your brown eye, but there wasn't enough room on everyone's chest. Believe me, we tried.
God, Lord.
They're so stupid.
Also, let's just bring back the point. I wanted to hurt you because you hurt me. Why is it that all these people who claim to care about other people do things to hurt each other and they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't...
angry. They say things they don't mean.
I mean...
But, like...
yes, it happens, but she's gonna end up in a relationship with him.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna happen immediately, and I don't think that...
That's not healthy.
I have other problems with Bravo and his character.
Stalkerish tendencies.
Stalkerish, and I don't know. I
want to hurt you because you hurt my feelings.
Well, yeah, but like I don't like the vibe he gives off.
Yeah, I touched your face without like really knowing you, and then you sucked on my thumb, and now I tease you about that, and this is all wrong for so many reasons.
Yeah, I don't like the vibe his character gives off.
No.
It's creepy stalkerish, and I feel like he keeps guilt tripping her, or at least he's guilt tripping her about like I felt vulnerable after I opened up to you, and
well, liking architecture, like what is this? That's not something to be embarrassed about,
right?
So it's not like Tuki was gonna go whisper to friends, "Oh, Bravo likes architecture,"
and it's not like she even really asked for his backstory, right?
Right.
He just told her, and like yes, that was a very personal thing, but it's also not like a deep dark secret or anything. I I don't know. I just don't like the vibe he gives off. And then I think this is mostly spurred on, though, by this. This is not a sincere apology, or at least it didn't start off being one.
No.
And, like, as he's apologizing, he's also kind of, like, guilt-tripping her. Like, well, I opened up to you and then you were gonna leave. So it's kind of your fault that I said those mean things.
Yep.
And I'm sorry about that, but it's kind of your fault.
Yep.
That's just the vibe I'm getting from this.
Awful.
And I'm not happy with it.
Awful. All
right. Tukey stared at him, her resolve crumbling a little. All at once, it made sense. The tuxedo, the writing on the chest. It was exactly what she told him she wanted during the man attack.
Oh, it is. Oh, nasty.
All those crazy things she'd come up with, and he was executing them one by one.
Oh, I forgot.
Then Bravo took her hand. I want to show you something. He started to pull Tukey across the O. They stopped at a garden Tukey had never seen before, right on the border between Modelland and Testosterone. Wait, what? Right on the border between Modelland and Testosterone. It was the same place? I thought that it was I thought they were on, like, another mountain, and, like, the guys were only there to, like, build the arena or something.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they're, like, right next door.
Next door. Yeah. So wonder, like, more of these pregnancies didn't happen if they're right next door to each other. Just saying.
It was filled with the most beautiful golden yellow fabric flowers she'd ever seen, and they went on for a mile. I just planted these today, Bravo said. As soon as I saw you'd come back, me and my boys got on the job. You planted this? For me? Tukey whispered, thinking again of her crazy first kiss wish. Bravo nodded. Okay, confession time. We use special Modelland multiplying seeds. Then he grabbed Tukey's hands and began to sing a strange little tune, slightly off key. Oh, Tukey, 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 I love you more than architecture and Laurel's oatmeal cookies. Went to the feds because my heart was failing. The purse said, no, Bravo, De La Crim's got your pulse sailing. I don't know, what tune would this be?
This reminds you, there's a scene in 90 Day Fiancé where Tariq proposes to Hazel, and he wrote this rap for her and played it on the speakers while they're standing on the beach, and it's just as cringy as this. So I'm gonna play that clip now. But that's what this reminds me of, and it's not, I know they're going for endearing. I'm not feeling, I'm just feeling like, I don't know.
Were Laura's oatmeal cookies that good? I don't even remember having anything to compare this to.
I don't remember that.
This is so stupid.
This is so dumb. It's not cute.
Oh, Tukey was trying with all her might to hold in her laughter.
Yeah.
You sound really bad, Bravo. You don't have to sing for me.
Oof.
This is what you wanted, and you deserve to get what you want. But you should be pissed at me, Tukey said. Because I hit you, because I left from our zip-zap, because of Theophilus. You both have a right to be angry, and I think Tukey has more of a right to be angry than Bravo.
Yeah.
But she came back, Bravo said. And Theophilus, well... Yeah, but she didn't come back for you. She didn't come back for you, Bravo.
You might not want to mention that.
No, she might not want to mention that.
I didn't come back for you. I came back for C tilde L.
Yeah. Theophilus isn't my boyfriend, Tukey blurted out. He's Zizi's, actually. I was kind of obsessed with him, but nothing ever happened. Bravo nodded, looking relieved. Then he continued his song. Damn it. Oh, Tukey, I never wagered your lip nookie. In your eyes is the only place I want to lookie. But you've taught me about loving and giving. I was a rookie. You're so pure and sweet, and now I'm hooky. Oh, Tukey.
I hate this so much.
No, Bravo, she said you don't have to sing.
And by that she meant please don't sing.
Bravo then did a spin and tried to drop down in a half split, but almost fell over. Tukey covered her eyes. Stop it, she said bashfully. But in truth, she kind of liked this.
No.
A lot.
No, I would hate it.
Bravo lowered his face to hers. I still want to be your first, Tukey. Tukey blinked hard. Oh my god, you're special first, Bravo went on. He moved an inch closer and cradled her face in his hands. You're only first.
How would you not be?
I mean, like, I started with that. I think, like, the vibe he's going for is, like, don't date anyone else after me. Never have your, like, first kiss with, like, your second boyfriend kind of a deal.
Tukey is, at this point, probably 16 now.
Yep.
Honey, not a lot of relationships start in the teenage years and persist.
And it can
happen. If it's the right person, go for it. But
I still have issues with Bravo.
I'm not feeling this relationship.
Sold on this. He's very pushy.
Mm-hmm.
Tuki shut her eyes. This was happening. How privileged I would be if you said yes, Bravo whispered, his lips puckered just so, looking extremely lush and biteable. Will you? Tuki swallowed hard. In the distance, a couple of birds sang to one another. A peal of laughter rang from the O, but all sounded very far away. Privileged? For real? Bravo squeezed her hands. For real, for real. Will you say yes? Tuki could feel his breath on her face. Her heart rocketed in her ears. Yes. But wait. Bravo leaned back, staring at her. I have a story for you, just like the story you told me, Tuki said. Once upon a time, there was this girl named Tukalata. Wait. That's not her actual name, is it?
It might be.
That would make more sense, because Creamalata,
Tukalata,
and the Miracle.
I still don't get where her name comes from.
Tukalata, Bravo said, amused. Shh, just go with it, okay? So anyway, nobody saw her, ever. She would lie on the floor of her school, waiting for someone to trip over her, or pick her, or anything, but no one ever did. It was like she was a piece of trash. Defective, uncoordinated, unattractive, and unmemorable. Tuki cleared her throat, her skin prickling. Tukalata wanted love, she went on. She wanted affection. She wanted it so badly, she collected a random item from a boy she liked. She touched the T-O-O-K-E pin under her flower.
She's still wearing that?
Yep. So this whole time, she just had this massive flower.
I keep forgetting that exists.
Yep. After a moment, she reached under the brooch, removed the pin, leaving the flower brooch where it was, and held the pin in her hand. Bravo looked at it, but didn't say anything. And she practiced kissing that boy in her mirror when she thought she was alone.
Stuff you don't have to share.
No. Twisting her mouth at the memory of how Miracle had once caught her, Tukalata was convinced that all she'd ever kissed for the rest of her life was a mirror. She was a forget-a-girl. A girl no one would ever want to kiss. A girl someone might bet on, make fun of, shun, ignore. And how does the story end? Bravo said, squeezing her hand. Does Tukalata lead a miserable life, alone, afraid, not allowing herself to open up to anyone, running away? Or does she take a risk and realize that someone does want her, really wants her, and really loves her? Tuki bit her lips, staring at the grass. The second option, she whispered. Bravo poked her lightly. Hi, Tukalata. Tuki giggled, then looked up. Hi, Deco, she said in a small, shy voice. Hi, Tuki, Bravo said, staring into Tuki's eyes. Hi, Bravo. And then Bravo kissed her forehead, then her cheeks, and then her nose. He sucked on her earlobe, sending a jolt of warmth all over her body, followed by an intense feeling of pleasure she'd never experienced before.
Can't stop. No, that one. Forehead, cute. Cheeks, all right. You're supposed to go for the lips. Why are you turning to the side and sucking on her lobe now?
Different, context and other way more sexual vibe than just first kiss on the lips.
Yeah. What all you need to do was forehead, end of the nose, because it's a little cutesy boyfriend-girlfriend thing, and then lips. Yep. 1, 2, 3. There doesn't need to be the side quest to go and suck on her earlobe when she's not even been kissed before.
I guess I don't like he seems so possessive of her.
She's an object to be.
That and I think part of my issue with this is this is a very steamy relationship right off the bat when she's had no experience dating.
They've not even kissed on the lips yet, and
this is worrying for me. I'd probably be
he's a predator kind of.
Yeah, vibe. He's after one thing is kind of the vibe that I get from this. I don't know. I'm just very worried for, she's already mentioned too, hey, I've, never been noticed, which is the only reason she likes Theophilus is because he notices her, which, okay, fair, but she's got no experience with relationship, no experience with dating, or, boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little much for, what's supposed to be, a first kiss.
Yeah, you just go for the lips. Don't mess around with this ear sucking thing. That's nasty. From this standpoint. Yeah. Because it's so overtly sexualized.
He sucked on her earlobe, sending a jolt of warmth all over her body, followed by an intense feeling of pleasure she'd never experienced before. Her back arched at his slightest touch. Tingles danced from the crown of her head down to her abdomen. She clenched her muscles, then let go. And then, at the same time, they both licked their own thumbs and smoothed the other's eyebrows. What kind of weird, mating ritual is this?
Maybe this is a Modelland mating ritual.
Close your eyes, Bravo said, and Tuki did as she was told. She heard the sound of a whipped cream can shaking and instinctively opened her mouth just in time for Bravo to shoot a cold stream of whip onto her tongue.
No.
The tingles continued down to her hips, and then she heard Bravo squirt some cream into his own mouth, and then slowly, gently, Bravo's soft lips touched hers.
No.
Her lips parted, and she felt something thick and slimy inside of her mouth. His tongue. Oh! She pulled away, wide-eyed. I don't like kissing that way. Bravo looked surprised. But you've never kissed before. I know I haven't, but my mirror didn't have a tongue, Tukey said, smiling, tracing her finger across Bravo's cheek. It just feels weird. And this is about what I want, right?
Oh!
Bravo nodded, pulling his body slightly away from hers. We can go as slow as you want, Tukey. You will set our pace. Always.
Except I just made out with your earlobe.
Again, this is a lot for, like, what's supposed to be, like, a budding relationship.
I'm
very concerned
the whipped cream thing, I'm just like, oh no, this is nasty. I'm sorry, this is disgusting beyond words. It just so full of innuendo.
Bravo, you just screwed up her first kiss. Way to go.
That went from it could have been extremely adorable to, oh my god, this is creepy.
Yep. And then he kissed her again, parting his lips only a little, his tongue remaining inside his mouth.
Thank you.
He bit slightly on her bottom lip. Tukey grabbed onto the back of his neck, her body feeling hot and alive. They remained like that for a long, long time, and when they pulled back, they stared at each other as only two people who are enchanted with one another can do. A single tear fell from Tukey's brown eye. Bravo brought his lips to the wetness and kissed it tenderly. Modelland was bathed in a joyful golden light. The corners of Tukey's lips felt like they might split from smiling. She wanted to prolong this moment for as long as she lived. Can we do it again? She whispered. And as they continued to kiss, Tukey opened her palm and let the defective purloined TOOKE button fall to the grass. She didn't need it anymore.
How romantic. Well, we don't need to read this last part. It's unimportant. It doesn't even have a chapter number or title. Doesn't say epilogue, but I'm guessing it's an epilogue. It also starts with the Tyra voice. Therefore, it's unnecessary, right? We're done. It's good.
No, we gotta read it. Come on.
The epilogue, as I will call it.
The untitled epilogue.
Untitled. Do you see her? The girl whose face looks, well, maybe not symmetrical, but still quite interesting. Yes, her eyes are still 3 centimeters too far apart, and her mouth is 4 centimeters too wide. And yes, when you look at her face, you might say something is definitely off, but perhaps its unusual qualities draw your attention, making you linger. Come on now. You see her. If you tilt your head up, way up, and stare at the mountain, she's standing outside on top of the M building, her gauzy Modelland nightgown waving in the breeze. She's the girl whose hair still has multiple personality disorder and can't decide if it's supposed to be quasi-curly, silky straight, frantically frizzy, wet and wavy, or a power to the people fro. But she's kind of okay with that. The girl whose feet are still the size of last winter's snowshoes. She's not okay with that. But her body is no longer hunched over. Instead, she stands tall, like she's sprouted an inch or two, and her stick figure arms and legs are still fragile, yes. But there's something a little more filled out about her than before. Even so, you still might hear her limbs pleading, "Feed me an entire vat of whipped cream now." But that's only because she fancies the delicacy so much.
Is that a delicacy?
I don't think it's a...
Anything that comes out of a can is not a delicacy, in my opinion.
No.
I get that she really likes it and it's like a treat for her or whatever,
but...
delicacy
is so weird.
Maybe to her, I guess she considers it one, so
whatever. Her head's still the size of a punch bowl, with a forehead that goes on and on and on, but she holds it high, like only someone whose big brain is filled with eloquent strings of words and brave, gutsy thoughts can do. And her eyes, though mismatched, one green, one brown, in case you didn't know, just add to her uniqueness. They almost look, dare I say, enchanting. Do you see Tukey de la Creme up there? I bet you do. I bet you'll remember her for a long, long time.
I want to forget
I want to forget this Forget-A-Girl so fast. And break. Our tale ends in a clear, starry evening.
Why did you start with that? You just gave us a narrative, or like the narrator omniscient voice. You don't have to start with our tale ends with. Just begin like the actual part of the book.
Our tale ends on a clear, starry evening. The most extraordinary of extraordinary evenings in the most extraordinary of places. And Tukey de la Creme, Modelland Bella, was not lying on the floor of B3.
She's standing on top of the M building.
Yeah, praying for students to trample her, but instead was standing outside atop the M building.
Hey! So it just recaps the same thing! Why? Why are you saying this twice?
Because Tyra likes to say it twice because it makes it more important.
It's okay, Kitty. It's okay.
I
know. I'm just very frustrated.
I'm sorry, Tyga, that you have to listen to this. Wind in her hair, goosebumps on her bare arms. She looked down at the expanse of Metopia's 4 distinct quadrants surrounding the mountain and prayed that Lizzie was still down there, still alive. Then she ran her hand over the wide stretch of skin above her eyebrows. All of a sudden, something ironic occurred to her. The adjective form of the word Metopia was metopic, which meant, as she found in Dr. Erica's medical dictionary, of or pertaining painting to the forehead. So wonder I wasn't the queen of Utopia. That's not what you meant, right?
I don't know. The characters are just all over the place. This is so dumb. So dumb.
Modelland was still anything but calm. Even though it was past midnight, Bella still crammed Beautification Boulevard in protest, demanding answers about why the 7-7 tournament was abruptly ceased. 7-7 contestants lay on the Golden Plaza, crying golden tears. Bestastro stood guard among the crazed Bellas, trying to keep the peace. Purses circled and doctors skated around the crowd, scooping up the girls who were on the verge of nervous breakdowns. Then, from a corner of the plaza, Tuki heard a meow, followed by a scream. Get away from me, you bitey, scratchy things! Creamy! A ditzy voice whined.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Miracle? Tuki thought.
Yeah, she's still there.
Was her sister still at Modelland? Oh yeah, I entirely forgot about her for 5 chapters. Now trapped in Catwalk Corridor? Well, at least she's here, Tuki thought, stifling a giggle.
And not in, like, the prison ugly room thing.
Miracle doesn't deserve all this. Yeah, she was the nicest to her sister, but she doesn't deserve any of what's probably coming to her.
Probably not.
Modelland is where she belongs, after all.
No, it's not. She doesn't want to be there. She wants to dance. Let the poor girl dance.
Isn't the view amazing? A voice said. Tuki turned, and there was Cetil the owl, wrapped in a gauzy jumpsuit with bat-wing sleeves. I guess I'll get to see it all the time now. It's gorgeous, Tuki agreed. Earlier that evening, a note had been slipped under her door. Tuki, meet me tonight in the south point of the M.
She's gonna push her off. She knows too much.
Yeah.
No, but...
Princess Belladonna, can you flip and believe it? I can't. Fierce and love, C-L. C-L, who had not announced her reign to the Bellas yet. The board was still debating the most opportune time to do so. I would say do it right the flip now.
Be like,
calm people down.
Don't even say anything about Cream. Just the Belladonna had a nervous breakdown. But we have named C-L the new Princess Belladonna because she is, you guys didn't know, but she's the Belladonna's daughter.
Yeah.
She is the next in line for the throne.
I don't get why they wouldn't, because wouldn't that calm the people down to have something new? That's what they wanted.
Although C-Tilda L's also been crazy and like promoted as being crazy for the year. So that might be concerning to people like, who is this person that's supposed to lead us? But just have C-Tilda like again, like then have be like, we'll have the 7-7 tournament again. It's okay. Stop panicking and dying.
Yeah, please relax. Okay. C-L, who had not announced her reign to the Bellas yet, the board was still debating the most opportune time to do so. And given Tuki a special permit to get into the M building without setting off any alarms. She's already done that before.
Yeah.
Tuki had passed a few guards on her way up, but they just nodded at her like she was someone special. Maybe she was. Now C-L glanced at the large statue of the Belladonna. It was covered with an enormous drop cloth. Next to it, a new statue was ensconced with scaffolding. Sculptors toiled away, carving the rock. Tuki knew this.
Okay, so they're not announcing that C-Tilda is the new Belladonna, but they're also building a new Belladonna statue.
I think that's a little bit of a giveaway.
They put essentially a death shroud over the statue of the Belladonna, symbolizing like, hey, her reign's done, she's dead. Yeah. Wouldn't that freak the people out more?
I think so. Yeah. Tuki knew this new statue would be of C-L, Princess Belladonna of Modelland. This is all so freaky, C-L whispered. It's kind of weirding me out. Tuki looked at her. What do you think will happen to her, the old Belladonna?
Oh, she's dead.
She trailed off, unable to say mother. Will she stay in the ugly room? I may be the Princess Belladonna, but that's not for me to decide, C-L answered, great sadness in her voice.
Why?
The board makes that decision based on a volume of rules and bylaws taller than you and thicker than me. I just hope they aren't too harsh on her. Yeah, she may have committed a crime, and she certainly did something insane that changed my childhood forever, but she's still she bit her lip, unable to say mother either. Then C-L looked out over the great expanse of the land. Land is capitalized. You've been
at the motherland.
Like the motherland. The Modelland. You've been at Modelland a whole year, Tuki. I spoke with the board. Despite your crazy mama's trespassing and the whole T-Dod switcheroo thingy, unfortunately, you're stuck here at Modelland.
Again, so did I actually switch Tuki?
Yeah.
I feel like that's still not... That was hinted at but never established, because it also sounds like the Belladonna broke a ton of rules to put C-Tilda is the one that she brought into the Modelland that she's not supposed to.
Yeah. I don't know.
This would have been an excellent point an excellent time for C-Tilda to be like, no, you were meant to be here. Mm-hmm. No one knew why, but now that we know that your mom was a Bella, that 100% chance of you getting in.
Yeah.
Miracle can't get in until next year or something, or...
Yeah, that's what would have happened in book 2. Miracle would have gotten in. And then we would have discovered that her love for dancing outweighed her love for modeling. Oh well, guess we'll never figure that out. I just hope they aren't too harsh on her. Yeah, she may have committed a crime. I've read this already. Then C-Tilda looked out over the great expanse of the land. I've still read this already. She winked at Tukey. Yep, girl, they want you here. Well, most of us do. Really? Tukey breathed out, her body filling with elation and relief. C-Tilda-L waved a finger at Tukey, her face stern. But don't be putting your celebration shoes on just yet. Plaza still thinks you're a seamstress. Plus, when I was here, second year was crazy hard. Shoot, they're easy on you, no Bellas. This year was easy? Tukey sputtered in disbelief. It probably would have been if you weren't like sneaking around all the time. C-Tilda-L nodded, moonlight dancing on her face. But from here on out, it gets insane. Don't get me wrong, there's a new 777 sheriff in town, but I don't know exactly how I'll be changing things around here. I do know I'ma do things C-Tilda-L style, minus the crazy and spooky parts. And shoot, maybe I'll throw in some posing poetry slams, and oh my god, who knows what else. But what I do know is that I want to make this a place where girls like my sister friends could have come. Her eyes watered with tears. But that'll be an uphill battle with the board, she said, wiping her tears away. Then she looked at Tukey. But mark my words, your Segunda year will be like hell.
Your what?
Segunda, your second year, I'm guessing.
Okay.
But mark my words, your Segunda year will be like hell in heaven. Think you can handle that? Plus a uniform change from green to violet? I don't get how these colors.
They just don't make sense.
Just random colors. Tukey nodded shakily. I want to try. I love it here. You could have fooled me. I feel like I almost belong.
Up until yesterday, you didn't feel like you belonged.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I mean, she was getting to, although in her one letter that she writes but never sends, she does say, like, I feel like I could belong here. So she's getting the vibe. She could be okay.
But you never...
But then she also thought that, she also still felt like the girls weren't really accepting her, and she also felt like, well, at that point, she also thought C-Tilda-L was going to try and kill her.
Right. What this book could have used was seeing Tukey succeed in the classroom to prove that maybe she had a purpose here, but instead she failed everything. So it didn't help anything, and I'm going, why would she want to be here other than to not have to live? Well, her mom's not at home anymore, but to not have to live with her family.
Still need to see if that gets resolved. I guess we'll see in the next couple pages.
We'll see. I have no idea. Because you do, girl. C-Tilda-L's gaze was intense. Look, Tukey, you've been underestimated your entire life, including here. The wind is in your face. It's blowing harder than gustgate, and it ain't dying down anytime soon. But that's actually a good thing, because when people have low expectations, you're just constantly going, ta-da, and they're like, wow, I had no idea. It doesn't take a lot to wow them when they don't expect much from you. You've got to go for your destiny now. That's how I became a 777 girl. Dream big, bigger than you ever have. So big that people laugh in your face. You need to grab on the handlebars of fierceness and not let go.
The handlebars of fierceness.
Yeah. Because you're special, Tukey. You might not know it yet, but you've got a beautiful light that shines inside of you. Tukey's jaw dropped. Someone else told me that exact same thing once, she whispered, remembering Wingtip's uplifting words from a year ago. It made sense that C-Tilda-L had nearly echoed him. Wingtip, Rayfei, was her father.
But that doesn't make sense because they've never met, never grown up together or anything. It's just a pure coincidence.
It's pure coincidence that they would have
because it's not like, because it's not that, and it's maybe not even the same ideals, but like the same words. That's just pure coincidence. It's not like she gained any of that idea from him. Like, ideals are not passed down through genetics.
That's not your
not the case.
Tyra. Tukey breathed in.
It's just ironic. The word she's looking for is ironic.
It was ironic. It doesn't make sense. It was ironic. Tukey breathed in, wanting to tell C-Tilda-L something about her dad. That he was warm and tender. That he would have cared for her dearly. And that maybe...
She doesn't know him!
Yeah.
Why not just say, hey, I know where your dad is?
My mom said your dad's a weirdo. My mom sexually assaulted your father. Oh, no. Maybe they shouldn't talk about him.
Maybe they shouldn't.
Tukey breathed in, wanting to tell C-Tilda-L something about her dad. That he was warm and tender. That he would have cared for her dearly. And that maybe he descended into melancholy because he'd lost her forever. Then C-Tilda-L touched her arm. Want to fly with me? Tukey frowned. Like on T-Dot? Like when you brought us back from Ladorno? C-Tilda-L shook her head. Nah, girl. Been there, done that. Outside the pouch. She lowered her chin, and her Batwing outfit disappeared, and 1,000 glittering necklaces appeared all over her body. It was the same outfit she had worn on T-Dot. One of the necklaces stretched out like a tentacle and looped over Tukey's head. A warm light glowed. Tukey's nightgown lit up, revealing hundreds of strands of bejeweled necklaces. Tukey gasped. C-Tilda-L grinned. Girl, if you want to fly with me, you gotta look fly. You dropped something after Manatech. Thought you'd like it back. C-Tilda-L placed her hands over Tukey's face. An incredible, familiar feeling swept over Tukey. The smize! This time she recognized the energy that pulsed through her. And just like before, power zipped through her veins. Feelings like waves of intense ecstasy crashed into her, surrounding surrounding her with the most magnificent smells and tastes and sounds ever heard. She felt tantalizing, luminescent, invincible, drop dead beautiful. Hello?
Child. She's always nuts. Wait, so is the book telling us, once again, that Chuki's only beautiful because she put on a smile, put on a mask to cover up her face? Because isn't that what she gets, is a mask?
It's like an eyeglasses makeup thing that seals to your face.
Again, shouldn't...
You're only beautiful if you have makeup.
You're only beautiful if we cover up half your face and you can't tell that you have 2 different colored eyes.
The problem is the statement, you're only beautiful if. Like, you can add whatever else you want to that. That's just the wrong message. Tyra wanted to say, here's what she wanted to say. You're beautiful no matter what. But instead, she's all told her readers, you're only beautiful if.
Yep.
You're only beautiful if you think you're beautiful. You're only beautiful if you do something. You're only beautiful if you wear this.
It would have, even if she would have said, like, it transformed into, or like gave her a necklace that accented her eyes, that picked up the greens and the browns or something. And like, if it wasn't like the main feature, but it like highlighted her own features, that does way more to say like, you're beautiful in your own unique way. But instead, like the focus, instead of like being the focus on Tuki, it's the focus on the smize and not Tuki.
Yep. Everybody sees the smize and goes, oh, she's beautiful because the smize is
Oh, that's a beautiful smize that's on this random person is essentially what that is.
Ready? Sutilda Owl reached out her hand to Tuki just as she had when they'd stood atop the car in the Dorno Square. Tuki grabbed it tight. She wasn't afraid this time, though. She was excited. She gripped Sutilda Owl's hand with pride and conviction. Now climb on my back, Sutilda Owl instructed. And as they took off... This is a weird sight. You're piggyback ride.
I'm riding like a bird.
Oh my god. Is she turning into some, like, howl creature bird thing?
Kind of like the vibe I'm getting. I don't remember what it's from, but like some like the like winged like woman in mythology. The one that usually that's like one of the things like that they use on not a harpy, but like whatever like figure they use like with the wings thrown back that they'll put on like the car hood ornament. I'm picturing that.
Valkyrie?
I'm not sure if it's a Valkyrie. It's something else.
Yeah.
But like, because I feel like I've seen like artwork of that with like that body and that pose with like necklaces draped over them. And I feel like that's the vibe or I feel like that's the imagery that Tyra was going for with this. But then I'm just picturing like Tuki riding her like a giant like bird or something. I'm just like, what?
So weird. As they took off into the sky, Tuki thought about how much she'd changed since the day Sutilda Owl had plucked her from her family on the Dorno on the day of discovery a year before. She was a different person now. Confident. Nervy. A friend who had friends. A leader. Suddenly, as the wind whipped through her multi-textured hair, she thought, I hate how many times Tyra describes how Tuki looks. We get it. Just say, the wind whipped through her hair.
Wild hair. Her wild hair.
Stop saying multi-textured. She thought of the letter she composed a few hours ago in her T-mail jail. The sentences flowed fluidly in her mind.
Dear Lizzie, I'm sorry I forgot about you. This will never be resolved. You're probably dead.
You're probably
the end.
The sentences flowed fluidly in her mind, just as they had done when she'd written them down on paper. This journey hasn't been easy for me. Every step of the way I've struggled, stumbled, doubted, cursed, and felt sure that I couldn't go on. But I feel stronger because of it. Almost like I needed to go through it to get where I am now. I still don't know if Modelland is my place, or if I'm meant for something else. Maybe I'll always doubt.
You just said that! Yes, I belong here! I feel it now! What?
But maybe it's the doubt that keeps me determined. Hungry. Always looking to prove and improve myself. Make myself better. Every night as I lie on my Lumiere-less bed, I wonder how many other girls there are like me, out there around the world. Maybe, like me, your father abandoned you. Or perhaps you never knew him. Maybe your mom's a terror or you have no friends. Maybe you're not the best loved or best looking daughter. Maybe someone hurt you, but you're too nervous to tell anyone. Maybe you hurt yourself and you want to stop, but you don't know how. Maybe you give of your body freely, hoping to get love in return. Or maybe you look at everyone else's bodies and then compare them to and detest your own. Maybe people hurl angry, hurtful words at you, making you want to curl up and disappear. Maybe you hate your reflection, or everyone thinks you're the prettiest but you still feel ugly inside. Maybe you're under intense pressure that you think you can never overcome. Maybe someone tells you daily that you aren't smart or pretty or skinny or talented or good enough. I know what you are going through. I've made a difficult journey to get here, and I have a lot farther to go. I must fight for my place every single day. It's easy to shine when everything is perfect, but when things things are a little shaky, the best truly emerge to show what won't tear them down. That's when the struggle to succeed really starts. I pray you find the strength inside of you, that special inner light that shines extra bright. I want to dedicate my struggle and all my time at Modelland to you. Everything I've gone through, everything I'll continue to face is all for you. And I want to make me a promise. And I want you to make me a promise. Take all your pain, take all the hurt you're feeling and your bad memories and your darkest thoughts and send it out to the universe, to me. I'll be your vessel. I'll carry all of the hurt inside me so that you could be free. It's cheeky, God. I'm sorry, I'm going. And every challenge I go through at Modelland will be for me and you. For us. We can do this. But I'm going to need you too. When I feel weak, scared, or like I want to give up, I need you to send your strength and power up to me on this mountain. I can't make it through this place alone, okay? Promise? I believe in you with all my heart. And I hope you believe in me. I just want us to get to the place where we believe in ourselves just as strongly. And besides, there's always room for you in the exclusive Uniquest crew. Fierce in love, Tukey, RG. Tukey and C-Tilda L swept through the sky, circling within the Modelland borders. Suddenly, something invisible tugged at C-Tilda L's body, pulling her toward the mysterious cemetery within the diabolical divide. C-Tilda L glanced up at Tukey. I'm getting the sensation that I'm about to teleportal, she yelled over the rushing air. Teleportal where? Tukey yelled. Back, confused. I don't know, C-Tilda L answered. Sometimes this happens. The universe tells me to teleportal, and even though I don't know where I'm going, I just go with it. She gestured to the 6 silvery gravestones directly below them. If you let go of my hand, you'll float gently back to Modelland. You don't have to come with me. I don't know what we're in for. Just months ago.
Why will she float gently back to Modelland? Also, they're now outside of the wall. Why is Tukey not old?
Yeah. Well, she didn't climb the wall.
Okay, because so is it the act of climbing the wall?
It has to be.
And then, so if we just fly out of it, it's fine? What?
We have 1 page to go. Hang in there.
We're on
the final page. If you let go of my hand, you'll float gently back to Modelland. You don't have to come with me. I don't know what we're in for. Just months ago, Tukey would have dropped C-Tilda L's hand in an instant, too afraid to face the unknown. But now, the idea intrigued her. It would be an adventure, experience. Better yet, an experiment. She clutched C-Tilda L's hand hard. I want to go with you. Are you sure? Hells yeah, Tukey yelled. All right, girl, let's do this, C-Tilda L shouted. She arched her back, and their bodies pivoted, and she shot toward the ground with breakneck speed. The wind snapped through Tukey's hair. She felt the skin of her cheeks pressing back as they gathered momentum. The cemetery loomed closer, closer, so close that Tukey could read the names on the graves. Muse Melodia, Muse Prancia, Muse Chromia, Muse Dramatica, Muse Fabrica, Muse Shatika. Each stone glowed fiery gold as they approached. But instead of crying out in fear, Tukey let out an adventurous whoop. She thought again of the new letter she'd written for the T-mail jail, recalling how she'd addressed it to every forgetted girl in the entire world. Now she had signed off Tukey, dotting her I with RG for Remember Girl. The Intoxibella and soon-to-be Segunda Bella shot like arrows through the earth. A black hole opened up as their bodies approached. Just as Tukey and C-Tilda L entered, the hole magically, seamless, swallowed them up, and the two of them disappeared.
To where?
Who the hell knows?
Okay, let me say, I love Tukey's letters because they show the only character development she's had. You're going from writing to herself to Lizzie, the people that she feels like she's the only one she can talk to then taking a step bolder to write into like her family, like, hey, I actually want to stand up to you because I have a problem with how you've treated me. And then now at the very end, she's speaking to the world, everyone. That in and of itself shows a progression of her character growth and feeling more confident. We also get that with what she actually writes in those letters of how she's gaining more confidence with herself. Outside of the letters, she does not change much significant character growth. She does finally at least like make peace with the fact that her mom doesn't love her and that it's not going to bother her anymore. Or at least that she's no longer scared of her, she's not going to stutter. But up until that point, even though the letters have progressed and shown that she's already past that where she shouldn't be scared of her mom or care what she has to think, she still stutters even after like they reach that point. So it's like a step back. And like she finally stands up to Zizi. So there's a little bit of character growth. But overall, those little moments don't do as much as the letters do. And that's a problem I have with the book.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, the letters are great at displaying Tukey's development as a character, but also they let Tyra just tell way too much in a go.
That is a problem.
Like, yes, these letters are showing that Tukey's developing, but at the same time, they're also mostly just telling us how Tukey's developed. They just give us too much? I don't know.
I think it would be alright and better balanced if what she says in the letters were backed up by what she does.
Yes.
And that doesn't always happen.
Yep.
It doesn't always happen.
Nope.
So I have an issue with that. What is the moral of the story? I think we've covered over this, or that we've gone over this before, and that the idea we think Tyra was going for was everyone has their own unique beauty. You might not see it yourself, but someone will see that inner beauty and think that your outer self is beautiful as well. And then she just, erases all of that with what she says.
The last letter. Here's my problem with the last letter. I mean, I have several problems, but I'll just list this one for now. Uh-huh. It is Tyra addressing the reader.
Yes.
That's nice, Tyra. But in a way, it kind of sounds like, our Lord and Savior, Tyra, if you only pray to her, everything will be okay, and Tyra will take care of you.
I think it would have been a much better and more poetic ending, rather than having Tukey and Satilda just fly off and disappear.
Yeah.
What if you would have kept the first half of the letter where Tukey is addressing every other, forget a girl, being like, you will find your own value, and then stop when it gets to the point where, send me all of your concerns. No, forget that. Just stop it right before
Stop that, please.
Have her, fold up the letter into, a paper airplane and, throw it off of Modelland out to, essentially, the rest of the world.
Yep.
To, another, and, with the idea that maybe a forget a girl who needs to hear this will find this letter and be inspired or something like that, or say she throws a paper airplane of the letter and watch it drift down into Ladorno because she's looking out over the mountain and she can see all of the world around. Wouldn't it just be so more poetic?
It would have been so more
so poetic, and then you don't have necessarily Tyra going on and on and on to the audience, because you're doing that a little, but it would still be in Tukey's own voice and her own character and repeating what she's learned to another person.
Right, and that also helps with her development in that she writes these letters originally for herself.
Yes.
And by letting it go shows character development in that she's willing to share those feelings
Yes,
now.
Exactly.
That's what should have happened 100%.
Because right now she's is writing to essentially the world. Her world has expanded from, or her confidence and world have expanded from just herself and then Lizzie to then being able to stand up to her parents. Stand up to her parents and some of the other later letters. Speaking back about her past self, and now it's expanded even farther to she wants to share her opinions with the rest of the world, but then she just keeps it shut in her diary. She's not actually sharing those feelings with anyone. So exactly what you said.
It makes more sense.
It would be better character development.
I also kind of diverging from this a little bit, but also regarding Tukey's character development. This book, for the majority of the end of it, was no longer about Tukey.
No, not at all.
And I really wish there would have been a cherry on top of this where Tukey did something other than drag them to the memory room or whatever. The flashback, whatever. Because that's the
Was she
only...
even planning anything with that?
She purposely dragged them there so that she could find out what happened. But I don't think that counts as her really contributing to how everything unfolded.
No.
There's not a point where in a climax she makes that difference, or at least in Tyra's intended climax makes that difference.
Do anything.
She doesn't do, which is my biggest pet peeve about stories, is when your main character, the one that you're supposed to be in on it with, doesn't do anything to impact the plot or how things unfold.
Her biggest decision she makes when she leaves with her friends. She gets them to go along, but they all want to escape anyway. She tells them which direction to take. And then they go out to the Diabolical Divide.
And she's
and there's no consequences.
Yeah.
There should have been consequences that she made the wrong choice. She brought them out there, and there's a problem. There's no consequences. Just get back in the zip zap and go the other way.
There could have been character development there.
Yeah, could have been character development of that she'll get them through, she'll hide them, whatever. Something. Yep. And then they go, and they're being chased by Satilda L. And oh no! Oh wait, there's no consequences because Satilda just stops chasing them. They're like, oh, we'll go back to Modelland.
Also, hi Lizzie, bye Lizzie.
Yeah. Okay, so Lizzie's never resolved. We don't have any resolution with Tukey's dad.
Yeah, no.
We don't know why, what caused her mom to stop caring for her. There's no resolution for any of those. The Unikas are never mentioned, or they're mentioned, and she never talks to them again. They didn't even need to be there after they get back from after they get back to Modelland. Yeah. There is no reason for them to have been involved when
just to pull down their pants and shake their butts at people. That's the only thing they've done.
Stupidest thing. Yeah, there's no resolution or follow-up with them, which tells me that they are not important characters.
Nope.
And like you mentioned before, the whole end of the book is about Cetilla and her backstory of like, oh, surprise, she's the Belladonna's daughter. That's, again, I will argue that that is not the climax. That is part of the falling action. It's not about Tukey. It would have made more sense if Tukey was the Belladonna's daughter.
Right.
It explains why mom doesn't love her, why the dad's panicking, even if he's not like the father or something. We've given you an excuse to have Creamy Bee have some personality instead of just be like, she's pure evil. She could have actually had some personality of originally she wanted to protect her friend, take the baby, like, and be like, Belladonna, you will be the next Belladonna. Stay here, live your destiny. I won't be a Intoxibella, and then have her resent that.
Yeah.
That would have made a lot more sense then why she wouldn't feel happy with her husband, why she doesn't love Tukey, and why she's so desperate to get Miracle in there.
Yeah.
But that would have been a much nicer resolution. It also would have made the end of the book still about Tukey.
Yes.
Because right now, that's not a climax. That's all falling action. It doesn't involve Tukey. It involves Cetilla.
We are Tukey, and we are sitting there witnessing everything.
Yes. She doesn't do anything.
Nothing happens.
She doesn't do anything. She doesn't play a role in what happens.
Nope.
She doesn't save Cetilla. There's no reason for her to be there, even for that, except to make Gennaro kiss her boots.
Nothing happens.
There's nothing.
It's terrible.
And she's also buddy-buddy with Cetilla, where up until literally less than 24 hours before, she thought Cetilla was going to kill her.
And now they're best friends.
And now they're best friends.
It's great.
Now they're best friends, and that makes no sense. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Tukey doesn't make any contributions to the story. It would make more sense, you mentioned too before, if the reason Tukey thinks that now she belongs at Modelland is if she started doing better in her classes, but you mentioned before, we only see her fail.
Yep.
She very rarely gets any praise. It would have made more sense if she would have still succeeded, or better yet, we mentioned before, what if she didn't have her Centura thing? What if she didn't have any magic and still succeeds? That would have been a much more powerful message, being like, it's her own unique beauty, or having people start to see that, look, it's your own unique beauty. We didn't recognize it before, but you did great in this photo shoot, or you're transforming into a more powerful speaker, or better yet, still have that be her weakness, because that is her weakness.
Yeah.
But have her show that she's doing better in like classes or something. Show that she deserves to be there. Give us some inkling that
she has a purpose.
That she has a purpose as a main character. That she can be a model, even though she thinks that she's too weird looking. Instead, that whole point that I think Tyra is trying to make is it keeps repeatedly is undermined by what Tyra says about how you're only beautiful if you have smiles. You're only beautiful if you use your magic. It's not helpful. She keeps undermining her own point. So it's hard to tell even the overarching theme. It's like you can see what I think is supposed to be the theme of the book, but it's not accomplished.
Nope.
It's never realized.
Nope.
It's an awful book.
It's so bad.
It's an awful book, and just the editors gave up because they probably thought no one's ever going to read this book. It's never going to be published because it's awful.
Now here's the true question. Is it the worst book you've ever read?
It's up there.
Yeah.
I still think that the selection is worse plot-wise.
Yeah.
Writing-wise.
It's better.
Writing-wise, this book is worse.
This book is way worse.
Yeah. I've taken an experimental fiction course where the entire book was made up of questions. It does not have, it has one single sentence in the whole book. And what we decided as a class, and what I believe for myself, is that this book in question had more of a character development that you see through the questions the narrator asks and asks to the reader. It shows more of a character development than Tukey does. And that's with a book that is testing the boundaries of what a novel is and what you can show through just asking questions and not having a plot. Does a better job of character development than this book. Yeah. And it's still better writing. Yeah. Because it doesn't, I hate like all the made up words because this whole book is written as if it's supposed to be satire. And I think that Tyra takes it in so serious of a tone in all her marketing for the book, what she says about the book,
It's way too serious.
It's way too serious for it to be satire.
I think if you want to talk like Alice in Wonderland-esque novels that are more modern, like in the same timeline as this, I think of Heartless, and that is so wonky. Alice in Wonderland, because it's about the
backstory of the evil queen
of Hearts, and how that is so wonky. Like you have the Jabberwocker, the Jabberwocky, and you're still terrified of this randomly named thing because of how it's established and built up. And in this thing, you're just bombarded by random words that mean absolutely nothing to you and have no establishment.
And let's talk about Alice in Wonderland and also Heartless, since Heartless is what I've read recently, and it's a retelling of the story, and it does have all these wacky things that you see in Alice in Wonderland, but it does such a better job of establishing the rules of the world. It does such a better job of that, and having, okay, this does or doesn't fit with the rules, this can happen but this can't. Modelland is just everywhere. The magic doesn't make sense. We don't even understand the hierarchy in like the Modelland world. So what power does the Belladonna have? No. So what should we be concerned about? We don't even know that. Which really like lowers the stakes because we don't know what is going on.
Yeah, everything's fine is what I kind of figured.
Piper's terrified of the lizards. We don't even see them for a long time. And when we do see one, he's like almost like a normal man and then disappears. Yep. There's no stakes for that.
Yeah, nothing. It's almost like that part got cut out of the novel.
There's just... And, like, we see these, like, horrible monsters in the Diabolical Divide, but...
No explanation
for why. And, like, yeah, they're, like, creepy in the fact that they take the legs of people and whatnot, and they're, like, wild, but...
But what does this mean? What is this trying to tell us?
But we don't ever see them, like, show a threat to Modelland. And what was the thing about, like, there were fireballs that hit, like, the 7-7 tournament the year before? That's not really established of what that's from.
No.
There's just so many random things, and, like, why can't, like, the Bella, like, do the Bellas actually get like the Intoxibella powers because they were practicing their powers, but then no one else can use them? And like, why can't Cetildel just like teleport? Why are they dragging her? I have such a problem with like the coronation of Cetildel. It's written as if she's going to be executed to make the reader think she's going to be executed and raise the stakes.
And it serves
no other purpose because that's not what's happening, and it's very obvious later on that is not what the board was going to do.
Yeah,
that's just poor writing.
That's so bad.
You could still have it be very intimidating and dark without having them drag their soon-to-be crowned queen through the streets. No.
It makes no sense. Pointless.
There's no point in that. That's just poor writing. And like the whole like apology from Bravo is so stupid. I have such problems with how Bravo's a weirdo. Treats Tukey in the fact that she's a 15 or 16-year-old girl and he's already very possessive of her and she's never had any other experience with a relationship. And what this book is telling like all your readers is that this is fine. This is how first-time relationships work. That it's fine if you let this random stranger come up and like lick your eyebrow or whatever he does. I don't think that is a good message to tell all these, I'm assuming like it's a YA novel, readers are going to be about the same age as Tukey, that this is how relationships work and this is okay, and it's fine that Bravo takes like these like, leaps and bounds further and faster than Tukey ever wanted to go, and she's just so new to any sort of like relationship and like physical human contact and notice. She has no clue what should or shouldn't be your boundary, and I have a problem with that because he's abusing that naivety.
100%.
That is what he's doing. He's abusing that.
Oh, hey, here's a girl who's never been in a relationship and probably never been in love before.
Let's see what we can get away with. Because essentially the vibe I get from Bravo. I don't like that. I don't like that message from this book.
No.
I hate that message.
What should have been the message is you don't need a man to feel good about yourself or feel beautiful. You don't need that sort of outlook. Like what a lot of YA novels I feel like struggle with is this whole either one of the common tropes is the love triangle. And we mostly avoided that, but kind of not because of Theophilus was in there, but that doesn't happen for very long, so whatever. It's just this whole idea that in order to have a reader hooked on a YA novel is you need romantic interest, and that is not true.
I think if you're going to use romance in a non-romance book, it should be a subplot.
Yes.
Which you kind of have it in here, but then it turns out to be like the climax.
Yeah, because Tukey serves no other purpose than this relationship at this point.
Right. It's like, most YA novels do have romance in them. But, like, there are so many where the romance is a subplot and it is handled so much better. It's more believable. It's, like, healthy relationships. Or if they're not healthy, you know and it's established that they're unhealthy, or the characters are recognized that we have a lot to work on.
Mm-hmm. This is not right. The one thing I love so far about reading with Jenna Moreci and Eve the Awakening is that Jenna has stated in interviews, like, I don't want to write messed up relationships. I want to write strong, committed relationships to show people what they should be looking for in a person. Mm-hmm. And the wonderful thing about Eve is that, yeah, this couple has trouble and, like, understanding, but all couples fight to an extent. But they are supportive of each other. It is evident they love each other in the actions they take, the words that they say. And it's just so much more evident, and that this couple will work out. And this is not a couple that should be a prime example of good things. And I'm not saying that every couple in a novel needs to set that standard. Right. But I'm just so thankful that we actually get in some books a reprieve or like a rest from having these messed up relationships. Now we can have a good relationship that we can be excited for these characters. Mm-hmm. Even novels like Tiger's Curse, that is still such a messed up relationship in so many aspects, in that there's that love triangle going on and you can't choose a person. Oh my god, I love two people.
And then all of a sudden it's resolved. I think it's resolved a little bit too quickly in this, but it's been a long time since I've read those books.
Oh man, if we ever get to do another one of these read-throughs, we'd be revisiting Tiger's Curse.
Oh boy.
Because I wanted to reread it to revisit the nostalgia of my childhood, and I started the prologue and I'm like, oh my god, this is so bad. It just hurts me because it's something I looked up to and loved as a small child, and we need to revisit that at some point, somehow.
I remember reading through the final book, and once I got that, and realizing I didn't feel any emotion in the book except for the one sad scene in the final book. Mm-hmm. And I realized it was the only emotional, the only emotion I felt towards the book. Mm-hmm. Not in the climax of any of the books, not in any of like the battles or anything or all the struggles they go through. There was only like one time where I felt like a deep like emotion for a character, and I was like, I kind of realized that as I'm reading them, that's kind of a problem. I don't feel attached to most of these characters.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's the general feeling for Modelland, is you don't get attached to anyone. There's nobody I was rooting for that entire book.
I liked, like, Creamy as she walks up the mountain. I just like that we saw a clear picture of her character, and it was like a believable take charge character. Yep. And granted, she was evil. Straight evil. But we got a clear picture of who her character was, and it's continued throughout the book. We have a clear picture of Creamy's character. And we even see then, as to climb up the mountain, the lengths that she's willing to go. Yeah. So it's believable still of how awful she is in her past, because we've had that sense of how awful she is climbing up the mountain. Yep. She's not, I like the fact that she was not a weak character. Everyone else in the book is a weak character, or their characters fluctuate too much that I don't know what their true character is. I think that's I think that's why I like Creamy. Granted, she's an awful person. I don't like her as a person, but as a character, I enjoyed seeing her strong character progressing through the novel and how she dealt with everything.
Yep, I would agree. I mean, she's not my favorite character I've ever read, but she was the strongest character in this book as far as staying.
That's unfortunate.
Staying with her.
You can write a strong character in the sense that, like, they have an established character. They stick to their set, like, character rules and development that you've established for the character. A strongly written character. That's what I'm looking for. A strongly written character. A good character. You can have that and still have your character be weak or timid, but they'll have a strong character that the reader can understand and know exactly who this character is. I don't think we get that for anyone else.
No one else.
No one else is strongly written.
I cannot see anyone else. Everybody else is so flimsy or like not important as a character. Like the Unikas have some iota of a character, but they're also all kind of like they all fluctuate. They're comedic support and they fluctuate. Like they're all different. Not like they've grown different, but like Tyra changed her mind about how they want to be read from the time they are selected to the end of this book when we last see them.
I don't think Shiraz gets character arc. They all stay the same. Piper stays the character same. Dylan stays about the same.
Shiraz was full of herself when they first picked her up.
Oh, that's true.
And then she completely flip-flopped.
And that's not character development. No,
that's just poor character writing.
That's poor character writing. Dylan, I don't think she grows.
No,
she comes, I guess it's sort of hinted that she comes to be more accepting of herself.
Right.
But I wouldn't say that that's necessarily a character arc. Piper doesn't get a character arc. Instead, she goes from being this calm, cool, collected person that's very capable to all of a sudden she like collapses and fits when she thinks it's a lizard and like panics. It's like,
yeah, it just And Dylan's character goes from literally being okay with who she is, because that's what her father set up for her.
Yep.
And then it all unravels very quickly, and then all gets fixed very quickly. Like, very pointless sort of thing. It's just, it was another part of the modeling industry that Tyra wanted to highlight and say this is a problem. Yep. But it's handled so briefly that it doesn't really serve that much of a purpose in this novel.
The whole end of the book, if Tyra wanted to make the point that every girl, it doesn't matter how you look or what you weigh, whatever, if you want to prove that everyone has their own, like, unique beauty or whatnot, there's 4 of them, aren't there? There's Piper, Dylan, Shiraz.
Right, and if you count the headbanger girl, whatever her name is.
I don't really, because she just shows up randomly. She's already pretty. She has her own, like, past to personal issues. Yeah. But, like, anyway, if you wanted to establish that you can have, like, these unique looking characters and still have them succeed and, like, realize their own beauty, make the end of the story about them and not C tilde L. Show them succeeding.
It should have been them working together to achieve some goal if they really had a purpose in this novel, other than to be Tuki's friends.
Yep. And yet you never resolve Lizzie. And what the hell is going on with her and, like, being tortured, which I thought must have something to do with Modelland, but it doesn't. Not. And, like, we never resolve if Mr. Delacreme is Tuki's dad, which we suggested ways that you could fix it and tie everything together.
Not been Tuki's dad.
But that, and, like, C tilde L's character is everywhere.
All the
she
time.
is everywhere.
Oh, good Lord.
In all kinds of just extremes. It's never, like, in the middle. It's all one extreme or the other, and it's crazy. It's crazy. And then also, the Belladonna is trying to show at the end that, the Belladonna and C tilde L now are here okay with each other. We enter Modelland with C tilde L in chains, embarrassed and displayed as, like, this awful person in front of the entire Bella class. That is not the act of a mother.
No.
And like, and then the Belladonna's trying to be like, everything I did was to protect. No. Bullshit. Because I get that, like, it's supposed to be, like, the board especially Gennaro wants to, like, execute C tilde L, and you had to do this? No.
That should have been more evident.
We should have had more evidence that the Belladonna isn't the one in charge then, prior to this, and established rules of what the Belladonna can and can't do, or given us, like, some semblance of the rules. It's a lawless land. We don't know what the rules are or what's going on, which makes it very hard to figure out the stakes of, well, what could C tilde L have done? What rules did she break? Or, again, like, why is the Belladonna the one that has her daughter split up in chains? Change the whole theme song for Modelland to incorporate the fact that C tilde L is awful. And also, this makes it a problem for C tilde L becoming the Belladonna after you've spent the whole last year saying she's crazy, you don't listen to her, she's nuts, and she's an awful person. Oh, guess who your new leader is? That would have been... What if they would have, so, like, I'm sorry we've had to pause the 777 tournament, there's been a change in plans, and then, like, coronated C tilde L right there. Yeah. And that could have thrown the world into panic.
Yes,
because they're like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? We think that she's crazy.
Yep, 100%.
That could have been more believable. Also, you have Tuki sitting there in Modelland enjoying her first kiss, and then, like, being, like, looking out over the beautiful starry sky with C tilde L, while people are throwing themselves off of buildings and in chaos.
Yes. This is not okay.
I don't like that either.
100% you're right. That's what the coronation should have happened in front of everyone.
And then have the girls freak out, especially if C tilde L then, after she got coronated, is like, we're postponing the tournament.
Yep.
I will let you know what's going on at a later date. And then have them panic because they think some crazy's in control. They are not sure if they'll be chosen as intoxibells because C tilde L is supposed to set the whole new standard of beauty. And they realize that C tilde L is the one that brought in the Unikas. And they're like, am I actually going to be chosen? And, like, what is going to happen? There would be a lot more uncertainty, which could justify all of the panic.
Yeah.
Just a couple suggestions that might have made for a
minor
stronger book.
Suggestions. I don't know that you could have completely cured this book,
but
you certainly could have made it acceptable.
Yes.
Well, I've said all I need to say about this, I feel like.
Yep.
I'm ready to kind of put it behind us aside from all the editing I have to do now and put the sleeve back on this book and give it back to the library where they'll hand it to some other poor unfortunate soul who will think that they're in for a treat. And
realize quickly that they're not.
It's just wild. It's so bad.
So yeah, so we don't recommend this book to people unless you want to read it and just laugh at how poorly this book is written or feel better about your own writing.
That's it. And in fact, I wouldn't recommend going out and getting this book. Just if you're listening to us, that's all the experience you need, right? Just if you've missed any episodes, go back and listen to our commentary about it. Don't support this novel.
Yep.
It did not deserve to be on the New York Best Times.
No, absolutely not.
No New York Times bestseller list. It's a popularity contest is what I've discovered, and
at
this
least
did not deserve
when a celebrity is concerned.
Yep.
If a celebrity has their book published and it makes the New York Times bestseller, I don't think that's an accurate way to judge the quality of the book anymore.
By no means.
I hadn't really thought of that until I read this book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so
let us know what you guys thought of the end of this novel down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe. Let us know if you want to see more content like this in the future. We'd figure it out some way.
There are many more books that we could review, probably in a shorter.
It would be either probably a singular review video with commentary on the book, or it would be more of a podcast-esque style, so we could record episodes and be done with it, kind of a thing, instead of the video editing that kind of goes into it, which is fun. It'll be fun to look back on, but with our crazy lives, it'll be a lot easier to record in different styles if we're going to do something like this in the future. So, but anyways, thanks guys for enduring this torture with us, and we look forward to seeing you possibly sometime in the future. Bye!